Well, say there. Welcome to another wacky backdoor radio session where we have a
wacky.
Wacky. Yes, sir,
Guilty.
Bob. And we brought the porno.
No.
And we have a special guest with us today.
We do.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hey, I'm Dr. Weiss.
Hey!
Over
Look
a
at Ed
piping
all
hot
of a
cup of
sudden.
Java.
Well, that's right, good buddy. He can't help himself. He's all wound up.
And Nameless is not here today.
That's right, he's fucking off.
So we would have had a full fist had he
Yes.
shown up,
Yes.
but now we're four fingers.
We're still foreplay.
It would have been a fistful of fun, but it isn't. So therefore,
I think Analog Kid's got some chat.
Oh yeah, we were talking about anger issues,
yes,
and so I've got one for this week.
word. Right.
On MSNBC.com, there was a news article for an angry Call of Duty dad attacks teen who shot him. A 46-year-old man, a father of three, has admitted to court officials, and this is in the UK.
Oh no, not
Oh, there we
UK.
go. Gang as it were.
Oh, those silly Britties.
That he attacked a teen boy who killed off his Call of Duty Black Ops character.
Are you kidding me?
Mark Bradford of Plymouth, England.
They
became
respawn. Does he not know this?
He became unhinged after his character was murdered, but also because he said the 13-year-old who took the shot at him called him a name. And the two played the game on the internet using microphones to talk to each other. Bradford knew where the boy lived, stormed over to his house, and grabbed the boy by the throat with both hands.
Look, I gotta say, if you're gonna assault somebody that pissed you off online, I mean, that's the way to do it. Both hands.
Might as well double fist it.
You know, honestly, when it comes to that sort of thing, it seems as though, you know, the law ought to have something to do with it, and these games should be, you know, in some way, shape, or form controlled, like, you know, for 18 and under only.
Oh, that leads me to a great point, because
I about spat out my coffee.
I play Bad Company, and I like playing the online version. And I'm getting my ass
You mean
handed
10
to
from
me.
6?
Huh?
Oh, sorry.
I get my ass handed to me by 13-year-olds who've got nothing better to do but play this game for hours on end.
And get on 4chan.
True. So I've beaten the game.
Never.
I've got on the internet, got on the online version. I've mastered the highest rank I could get, so now I'm just playing for shits and giggles. And I'm literally getting my ass handed to me by these 10, 11, 12, 13-year-olds who play the game for like 12 hours at a time. I might get 2 hours every 4 days.
There's probably only one way that you can up your game. Cocaine.
Indeed.
It works for a lot of people, you know.
It's
Now-
what's for
It
breakfast.
might work for you.
Now, Mr. Bradford said, and I quote, "It wasn't malice. I just grabbed him. I've seen him since and apologized. The injuries weren't that bad, but I do regret it.
Cocaine.
Mom had to intervene." Now,
We're already talking intervention here.
Bradford's attorney, Tracy Baker, said to the client, "He just lost it, but the attack wasn't planned. What is planned is October 24th sentencing for Mr. Bradford."
Exactly.
Ooh.
So I just thought, wow, dude, it's a game. Calm the fuck down.
Hey,
Yeah.
so is soccer, but look at what happens with that. Oh, I'm
That's-
sorry, football. And this is the
That's
UK.
right, football.
Oh, football.
Football!
I do like to watch
That's
football.
they're bowling, you know.
They're balling with their feet.
Yeah,
Another
with their
article,
feet.
I thought was great for anger management. This was off of Life Inc. At Today.com. And there was a CEO's memo, get the milk or get the axe.
What?
He said there's a guy,
Milking? Oh, never mind.
it was reported from a website called
Money shot.
Gawker, that Keith Zackheim, head of a 60-person New Jersey public relations firm,
In New Jersey.
sent an email to his staff earlier this week after he came in early to find just a few drops of skimmed milk left in his coffee container in the fridge. And he says, "I have repeatedly requested until I am blue in the face that the person that finishes the milk must replace the milk. It's not complicated and it's a simple sign of respect to fellow employees," which is true.
Right.
If you're going to take the last of something, let somebody know or
Yeah.
replace it. So he sent out an email.
That's what
It said
annoys
if
me
you-
real quick in the break room
Hmm.
at our job. People will like use the last of the sugar or like leave like 5 grains of sugar or whatever. The replacements are right underneath the fucking counter.
yeah.
You can't open a fucking door and get one.
Well,
Like really?
that leads
Hell
me,
no.
that leads me to my point after I read this.
Fuck you.
He wrote an email basically stating, if you don't replace the milk, I'm going to fucking fire your ass. And you'll be fired for milk. Well, he said it tongue-in-cheek was the intention, but that's not how a lot of people received it. So the question at the bottom of the news article was, for the readers, what's your office pet peeve? Mm-hmm. And at our job, we have a freezer full of ice cube trays.
Oh my God.
Do you know how annoying it is for lazy-ass adults who can't fill it back up when they grab the last ice cube? So by the time I go in there, there's literally 15 ice cube trays that are fucking empty.
Yep, there's no ice anywhere.
And I keep thinking to myself, I did come to work and leave my kids at home, did I not?
You did.
Indeed.
And we work with a wide variety from 21 to almost 60 years old. And none of them fill up the ice cube trays.
Nope.
And it's just annoying as shit to me where I literally, there's that inner child of me that just wants to grab the ice cube tray from the person who empties it, and I catch them throwing it back in there, that I pull it out and beat them with it.
That's pretty much what my parents did when I didn't fill up the ice cube tray when I was done. I mean, like, it's just wham.
Yeah.
My biggest difficulty at work, I mean, honestly, I don't have an ice cube tray problem at all. Mostly my big problem is keeping my boss off YouTube. But I don't think that's common.
Keeping your boss off of YouTube?
Yeah, pretty
What
much.
does he watch?
Oh, God only knows.
I can't imagine it's quality.
Yeah.
No, and so, but you
Wait.
keep your boss off.
Are you sure it's YouTube or is it you porn?
No, it's YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah, because occasionally I'll catch a glimpse of something absolutely inane. He watches music videos, pop music videos.
Why?
That's what I was about to ask.
I think part of it has to
Was
do
he
with
brainwashed in
the
earlier in
man.
life?
Okay, when the company started off, we were forced to, and this is the policy of the owners, to keep it nailed on constantly.
Oh dear God.
Yeah, I've developed a really strange love of Kesha now. That has no other explanation.
What the hell happened?
Whiskey and glitter, baby. Let me tell you.
Whiskey and glitter. Means
I'm not
you're
kidding,
listening
no.
to Kesha.
Which, by the way, glitter is the herpes of craft art.
Yes, true. But it's also catching a case of the glam.
I mean, you sparkle for weeks.
I haven't put anything on
Yes.
recently, but I still have kind of a small glam problem. I figured this out when I posted T-Rex on Facebook. Kind of a moment there.
There's some song that has to do with Mars by them, and I can't remember what it is.
I don't.
T-Rex.
Yo, yeah. Nothing's coming to me. I'm kind of a little OD'd on caffeine right now.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it.
Oh no, not at
Are
all.
you in next week?
Do what?
Are you in next week?
I
My brother had so much caffeine in one of our recordings that he just was like, "I'm next week."
wouldn't say that, but I'm definitely at least an hour or two from now.
That was like when we did the last of the Maiden Spotlight. I had
Yeah.
so much caffeine that I was just sitting there and I was like, dude, I'm not in next week. I'm definitely 3 days in the future.
I'm drinking.
Been there. I mean the coffee, right?
Yeah. And then
Did you go back to the future?
Silence.
it's
Because I know you were making a drug reference.
well,
What,
it's
me? Never.
you know the
I
older
don't do
the older
drugs.
you.
I think your blood actually
Right
is a drug.
I'm totally sober at the moment.
I think the older you get, the more fun it is telling drunk stories because you have more of them then.
The problem, the worst part was I actually spent like a couple of years doing a lot of LSD, and most of my stories from them all start off with, okay, so me and Ed were tripping this one time.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing. It's like, well, so-and-so said, yeah, let's get drunk, and then, or I was really drunk at a party, and then, or like one of those where I woke up with a different pair of underwear on and in a different room than I went to sleep, and I have no idea how either of them occurred.
Yeah.
Or, and then we could tell disgusting concert stories, and Analog Kid knows I have one.
I've got one.
You got a
I
disgusting
wanna
one?
continue.
I was gonna say let's finish the chavs and then
I've
we'll
got
get
more
to
anger
disgusting.
management.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Bridgewater State radio station allegedly threatened for not playing song requested by ex-student.
What?
Say it again?
Bridgewater State radio station allegedly threatened for not playing a song requested by an ex-student.
Really?
That's entitlement.
An angry
Yes.
ex-DJ jonesing for a specific tune took his oral frustration too far when he allegedly threatened to shoot up a Massachusetts college station if they didn't spin the record he wanted to hear. Well, we won't have that problem on our show.
Oh, he's a terrorist.
I mean, you can email all you want, but I mean.
Okay,
just
what was the
ignore it.
record? That I really want to know.
Yeah, I know.
Uh,
Was it something good? Was it?
This may be indicative.
After getting turned down for the last time, the mystery caller warned that he'd bring a gun and shoot up the station if they didn't broadcast a song by punk rockers Rufio.
Really?
Who?
Rufio. I know they covered. They're a punk band, and I know that they covered Madonna's "Like a Prayer." They're just a standard punk band.
Well, at least it wasn't yummy, 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 I've got love in my tummy or something ridiculous like that.
True, but I was hoping it would be something better, like, you know, give me back my bullets. You know, at least that would be something, you know, appropriate.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yes. Or
Did they have the title of the song, or did he just want to hear the whole?
You just wanted to hear something from that song.
Fire by the Ohio Players.
Jacqueline
Ooh.
Hamilton arrested for public intoxication after erratically driving golf cart to buy a scarecrow.
To what?
Wait, what?
An Indiana woman was arrested Wednesday as she left the drugstore with a scarecrow and a bottle of whiskey following reports that she had been driving a golf cart erratically around Chesterton, Indiana. Yeah.
He
Yeah,
said,
Well, look, if you
if you're from Chesterton,
no, I'm just saying if you're
I
gonna
want to meet
have
this
a golf
woman for an
cart.
encounter.
I mean, if you're gonna have a golf cart and you're gonna be drinking, you might as well buy a fucking scarecrow. I mean, really.
Police responded to a call from a motorist about an intoxicated woman on a golf cart weaving between lanes with no lights on, and say they found Jacqueline Hamilton, who's age 59, stumbling out of a CVS
She's
pharmacy.
almost 60 years old.
She's almost 60 years
That's
old.
that makes it better.
Stumbling out of CVS pharmacy,
I'll
holding
lower
a
my
bottle
rates.
of Canadian Mist whiskey.
Nice.
So she got the cheap shit.
Hey,
Uh,
if it gets you drunk.
Wow.
yeah, that's what I always
so
say.
does Mad Dog 2020, but you don't see me going out and buying a fifth of that.
Uh,
Or Boone's Farm fucking $2 bottle of wine.
Steel Reserve, was it?
what do you mean, was it? Is it?
I like how Mexico is mulling over a 2-year marriage agreement.
What?
That's a good idea.
They're saying that we'll give you a 2-year marriage license, and at the end of the 2 years, you have
You
one
still
of two
like each
options.
other and you haven't
You
shot
can
each
renew
other.
it, or you could just walk away.
Walk away.
Wow.
Huh. That is an interesting thing to do.
Still
But
wouldn't have
the,
done me
the
any
thing
good.
that I thought was funny, what caught my eye,
Me
what
either.
caught my eye for the news article, it says till 2013 do us part. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, that's 1 year after 2012, and it's in Mexico. Let's find out. So I thought that the
What the hell's the name of that shit? I don't know.
What the hell are you
now
saying?
the French have pissed me off more times than I care to talk about.
Quetzalcoatl?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, the snake.
Yeah.
Snaky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Snaky.
The word Madame
Blasphemy never sounded so sleazy. You know, if you're an Aztec. How are they
So
doing
many of
these
them.
days?
the word Mademoiselle is being up for grabs again in France.
Yeah.
They want to ban the word, being that sexist. It means miss.
Well, why don't they
How
ban
is
the term Lolita while they're at it?
The reason
No!
No! No!
The reason why they want to ban this word is because a lot of people are saying it's nobody's business
I thought
whether
she
or
was
not
18.
when I fill out information
So did
if
I.
I'm married or not. And I'm like,
But
when
guys,
it comes
it
to
comes-
census forms
Yeah.
and other government particular forms, it's not like they're quote unquote big brothering you. They're trying to figure out, okay, in our demographic for this town, how much is single, how much is married. That determines how much money is going to what city for what reason.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just going, guys, it's just a label.
Actually, the thing about it is just having that
I'm
name.
sorry.
or-
I was gonna have a serious comment, but then Fred Zeppelin decides to show me that he has a turtle on his crotch.
Because it drives him crazy.
Well, we see
He's
it's out
like,
of its
"Stop."
shell.
Yeah, see? Look.
Clearly, it likes him.
No.
Because it drives Analog Kid crazy when I do it.
My thing is see me personally, I don't get offended if somebody calls me miss. I don't care if
I don't-
people know
yeah.
if I'm married or not. I mean,
Yeah.
it,
Because because that's a
Granted,
term.
it's weird that whether or not you're male and you're single or married, you're still just called Mister. Like, there's not
Yes,
like a
there's
male
no
equivalent.
differentiation at all. Exactly.
Exactly. So I think that's kind of where it is coming from. But I
think
don't.
so too.
Yeah.
I think it'd just be easier to instill a male term for single males as opposed
Well,
to
I mean, you look at
just
Mexico.
completely abolishing a word from a language. I mean, just
Well,
I
you
kind of
know,
like the
add
idea.
one.
from that standpoint, I can understand that.
Mhm.
Because if you're not going to refer to men two different ways, whether they're married or
Right.
not, you shouldn't do that for women.
Exactly.
And that's old sexist bullshit from
Fuck
centuries ago.
PC.
Huh?
Yeah, but I,
PC.
no.
It's not PC.
No.
It's just
Fuck Mac.
Huh?
Sorry. Sorry.
You gotta be quick with the doc.
damn you,
I
Apple.
understand that governments are still running with all the crap that's going on in the world, but Jesus H. Christ, can we find something better to bitch about?
Oh,
That's
I have
my
to
point. That's
agree
my
that
point.
there are major issues. I mean, like with the economy the way it is,
Like,
with those kinds of things. But I mean, you can't just dismiss it as something that's completely
Different.
frivolous. I mean, it is a true statement. You refer to women two different ways, but you do not do the same for men. So
Exactly.
I mean,
so
Yeah,
you're
I
being-
like the idea of having a little
I think-
sir thing on,
Yeah.
like single men. I mean, that
Yeah.
would be awesome.
what would
Yeah.
the word be? That's what I want to know.
What would the word? Oh,
Because you have Mister, but you also
Yeah.
have Sir.
yeah, but
Sir's
it ought to
more
be something
title
kind of
than-
flowery,
Exactly.
like ranchero.
Ranchero. I like that. If you are a single male, you are now known as
I am.
Ranchero.
I am ranchero vice.
Stay thirsty,
Indeed.
my friends.
Huh?
Yes. Stay thirsty, rancheros.
I just,
I don't always drink, but when I do,
I can't take.
I beat my wife and kids 7
If it had been any other country but France,
I know,
I
it
wouldn't
does.
raise my eyebrow to the
I
article.
know.
But it's the fucking French. I mean, it says as a consequence, the two feminist associations, which are listed up here, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce it in French because one of the only sentences I can say in French is "Mosez moi, s'il vous plaît," that are mainly focused on inventing female denominations for job titles and for an advertising campaign called Dare Clit. CLIT, Dare Clit,
I am so down.
has decided to put an
I want to learn
emphasis
French
on
just for
this
that.
Word!
I have a click command. No. I'm just saying,
Click, huh?
That involved word kind. Never mind.
You
I
bastard.
said a hilarious word in the car that distracted him from finding music.
Ah, yes, Cantilla the Hun.
Yeah.
All I think, oh, I know her. Oh, wait, my ex-wife.
I'm just looking at this going, you're fucking French. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, what's going to happen? Is this up for public referendum, or is it something that's going through? Because what will happen? One side will get it passed or not passed, and the other side will go hide.
Yeah.
It's France.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully they
Assuming
won't
that
drop
it
their
even
rifles
makes to
on their way.
They give up before they get
That, but you're
started.
assuming that it even makes it to legislation.
Good point.
They might just give up on it and
I just want to get down with this Dare Clit thing. I mean, that is awesome.
I will look that up for you in a second. My last news article, which I thought was very interesting in a almost frightening way. Google Facebook data irresistible to law enforcement.
irresistible,
Irresistible to
as
law
in they can't get enough of it.
Exactly. Police around the world are requesting information that isn't protected by wiretap laws.
Ooh.
Internet companies such as Google, Twitter, and Facebook are increasingly co-opted for surveillance work as the information they gather proves irresistible to law enforcement agencies. Although such companies try to keep their users' information private, their business models depend on exploiting it to sell targeted advertising, and when governments demand they hand it over, they have little choice but to comply.
Oh, yeah. See, that's why I always try to just pick random watchwords and post them on Facebook, just so that I can, have them looking after me, I have no objection to this whatsoever. Tie up their resources, staring at me. Puts me in the center of attention.
There you go.
Suggestions that BlackBerry maker RIM might give user
RIM?
data to British police after its message service was used to coordinate the riots this summer caused outrage, as has the spying on social media users by more oppressive governments. But the vast amount of personal information that companies like Google collect to run their business has become simply too valuable for police and governments to ignore, according to delegates to the Internet Governance Forum in Nairobi. When the possibility exists for information to be obtained that wasn't possible before, it's entirely understandable that law enforcement get interested, said Google's chief internet evangelist, Vint Cerf. Then the issue would be, what's the right policy? And that, of course, engenders a lot of debate. Cerf is also considered one of the fathers of the internet.
Well, one of the things
I thought it was Al
is-
Gore.
Oh.
So demand for the information of what you search in your search engines, what you post on Facebook, it's not doesn't fall under wiretap laws, so it's fair game.
Oh yeah. I mean, there are ways around it. Just have something change your MAC address on occasion. Surf to different public locations. Look up your porn on there. Or you could just simply allow Google to do its job so that it can tell you what kind of porn it is you may now be looking for.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
So if you're a dumbass in Facebook,
Google is there
like
to help you
most
out.
people are, and say, "Hey, I just downloaded this torrent, this great new album," you just set yourself up for failure.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, did anybody actually read the email I sent you? I don't know. I don't think I sent it to you, but it was a billboard.
I saw it, yeah.
Yeah, that basically was
Oh,
saying
yeah.
that something
You're a
about they
terrorist
caught
if
a
you
terrorist.
download
Yeah, exactly.
A movie.
That was the thing of it. Was they were basically saying that they caught a terrorist because he was pirating music, and they caught him before he was going to do anything because they caught him pirating music. But the big thing that it was basically saying was, if you pirate music, you're a terrorist.
You wouldn't download a bear, would you?
I'm
But
gonna
no,
download me a
ridiculous.
nuclear weapon right now,
It
buddy.
doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Damn it all to hell. I was gonna do it.
Yeah, the big thing I've learned, don't type in a search for weapons grade anything. Just saying.
Yeah.
I had, a friend of
prison
mine, I had a
thing.
friend of mine said that what they wanted to do was that he said, "Hey, I was checking out, I found some useful information. I went to the CIA website and just perused, and I said, and your computer just got pinged. And so now, for every time you go to that website, since you've been to that website, they now can see where you go after.
Really?
FBI, CIA,
Oh, sure.
ATF, because they want to monitor who comes to visit them and what they do. They can profile certain information and get to a point of, okay, he just went to the CIA website and now he's looking at all these illegal activities online. Let's monitor him.
Or he just went to the
Wow.
CIA website. Now he's looking at DebbieDoesEverybody.com. I wonder why.
What?
What's illegal about that?
The internet was made for porn!
That's right.
Rule 34. What happens if you get off on the internet?
Is that an exit only?
Oh no.
So those are my news articles and chats.
Not down with Browntown, personally. It's exit only.
Mm.
Don't like that noise he's making.
That sounded like a bear that just had a great meal.
You
Just
what?
Sitting by the campfire.
Okay, who downloaded the bear?
Essentials? No.
Fair.
The bare necessities.
Yeah. Oh
Porn.
yeah. Has he heard?
There we come full circle.
Has he heard me doing the bedtime story thing, reading that or whatever book that was? Did you show him any of that?
I don't think so. I know I definitely sent him the clip where you were all about Peter Steele's cock.
Oh yeah.
I know I definitely sent him that one.
Peter Steele's cock.
Oh, dude, yeah. No, it was a big thing. Apparently, he freaked out about it, however, when,
Well, Playgirl is mostly viewed by gay men.
yeah,
so,
yeah. So he was like, whoa, I don't see what the big deal is. He was making money, you know?
Yeah. It's
To
like
be naked
it's
and
like
adored.
some
I got
guy
the
staring
album.
at my
I got the
cat.
album that it came with from a gay guy.
He said came with.
There was that particular.
Was it sticky?
It was called Dick O'Steele. That was the name
That
of
was
the
my
album.
uncle's name.
No,
It
it
was Steely Dan.
Money Shot. What was the other one I said before? And then you said, "Oh, a Steely Dan," and I said something before
I
that.
can't remember what you said. Oh, you were talking about Magic Dick.
Oh yeah, Magic Dick is the harmonica player for the Jay Giles band, and I was playing. We talk about like things like
You mean currently unemployed?
yes, probably, and yes, maybe his penis is as well because he's like 65. But
There's the blue pill.
Yeah. Hello, hon. And then you get the blue pill. Well, either the blue pill or you get a device and you have it. The clapper goes with it. Like, come on, honey. Oh yeah. Okay, we're done.
Nothing annoys me more watching an excellent television show like House or Battlestar Galactica, and they go right into the commercial. And the first commercial is,
Do you have a problem with your dick?
you never know when you're going to have those special moments. I'm like, oh really? Fuck off! And you can't fast forward
What,
this shit.
what pisses me off about them is where they'll go, so that you can have it when you are ready.
I think it's completely ridiculous. Do you know how long it takes for that stuff to kick in? I mean, meth only takes seconds. I think these people are barking up the wrong tree.
I think so.
If
Because
you
how
got-
long does that take?
If you got a
I've never
magic
had
blue
it.
pill that can give you a 4-hour erection,
Right.
don't tell me we can't land on the moon and build colonies.
Well, let me put it this way. There was
Or
a guy.
cure cancer?
There was a guy I
Or,
used to work with. The guy I
Or
used to work
find
with was
ultimate
like
noodles.
10 years older
Like
than me.
something.
And we were talking about it one day, this old New York DJ.
Mhm.
And he says, Fred, when I saw the commercial for, he says, when they get to the part where they say, your erection lasts longer than 4 hours, seek medical attention. He says, right then, I knew that shit was for me. And that's what sells people on the shit is, if you're stiff for longer than 4 hours and
if I've got priapism, I find 25 hookers before I go see a doctor.
thank you. I'd be like, weirdo!
Find a
here!
Find a
Have
private.
a
That's why I had to
seat.
look for an actual
Have a seat.
that says here.
If I ended up with priapism, sorry, I'd rather be alone.
Because who could love me better than me?
And does anyone have any idea how much porn I have? I mean, for reals, people.
For real, as
I'll
they
be
say?
gone for 3 days.
I'll be in for the winter.
Mhm.
I'm saving my nuts for winter.
Which leads to
Wow.
Made the conversation go to a complete.
So when you
other-
suddenly change
When you
the
see Fred
concept
Zeppelin
of
coming into
icing,
work, when
Yeah.
you see Fred Zeppelin coming into work like this, you know what's going on.
What?
Where do squirrels hide their nuts?
Oh.
Which leads me to a great question.
keeps them warm.
If, let's say, a multi-billion-dollar a year
Okay.
CEO
Oh.
of a computer software designer company or an oil baron, whatever, they're guaranteed billionaire
Yeah.
for life.
Yeah.
And they came up to you and liked your work ethic and they liked your skills, and they said, I'll be giving you $650,000 a year to up to $5 million a year.
That's a lot of hookers and blow.
That's right.
The
Nice album
only,
title,
the
by the way.
only thing you have to do to earn it is take a shot in the mouth once a year. Would you do it?
Shot of what?
Semen.
If you have to take
that.
a shot in the mouth for $1 million a year, would you do it?
God, your voice goes. Oh.
How many do I have to take for 2 million? We can keep haggling.
How much abuse would you take for 2, 3, 4 million a year?
That's one way, but the other one, sure, we can negotiate.
Well, the other thing is, if the guy's like 75 and he wants to do it, he probably just dribbles anyway, so it won't come anywhere near you anyway.
Get
It'll
that
be
man
done
on bed.
before I pout.
Yeah,
I mean, so
exactly.
what?
Please, sir, can I have another?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't think of it before. These lips are made for money making.
That is going on a shirt.
Yeah!
No, that should be going on a G-string.
Yes.
Woo!
Giselle.
Giselle Noir and the Doctor.
Yeah.
I wish
That
you
sounds
spelled
like a
doctor
porn,
the German
doesn't it?
way.
Dude, I could just imagine.
D-O-K-T-O-R.
Yes. No, the problem with that being applied to porn, all of a sudden I just got the impression of the two of us sitting in movie seats with, like popcorn going, yeah, oh,
And here comes
no.
Tom Servo.
Entirely. No, I'm sorry. It's just, I have to be careful about the porn talk. At one point I was staying with a friend and I had to wake him up. Well, didn't have to, but I was laughing too hard because I just saw a documentary on a girl who caught HIV during a double anal scene.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, it was terrible. Except for the fact that the guy narrating it sounded just like Chris Eccleston.
Who's that?
That was he was the first Doctor Who from the reboot. Right after they rebooted,
okay.
he was also the in what was it, Elizabeth? He was
He was
Duke
in
of Norfolk.
Heroes. He
And
played a small.
He
role
played
in
the
Heroes.
invisible guy
Yeah.
in Heroes. Yeah,
You know, you
he's
can
from
have,
the North.
you can have a cheap thrill just by having one of those reverb devices that makes your voice echo. And say the word Norfolk and only hit the button when you go to the second syllable. Norfolk, fuck. Anyway, that's bad.
I know what I'm doing when I get home.
See?
I thought I was going to do something productive.
And then you can do
Should've
the
known
same
that
thing.
up.
Then you can do the same thing with Suffolk as well. Suffolk, fuck. That's even better actually, because it sounds dirtier.
Yeah, it does.
Oh.
It sounds so dirty.
Ew.
Oh God.
So dirty.
Say, Timmy, would you like some ice cream, little boy?
Back so much.
Yeah. It tastes really good.
Do either of you have popsicles in your fridge? Is this where this is going?
I've got your popsicle, Timmy. Oh, God.
Did he bring you some good news?
I think I just gave myself the willies. Not mine. Ooh.
Oh.
I've got some good news for you, little Timmy. Oh, God.
Yeah, I feel like my rectum's in jeopardy.
Oh.
The light is flashing red. What does that mean?
Anal invasion.
Yeah, when it's attempting to prairie dog, but there's nothing going on.
No turtle heads.
For once, it's not you that's
I'm
doing
not
it.
derailing this one. Hey, for once, I get to say butt sex first.
Butt sex. Well, you said that first, but we got the subject going first. So. But,
You were getting it ready.
I was.
He was warming up to it
That's right.
with some lotion.
Yo, here's my friend Danal.
Little massage, you know.
Yeah. Hey, Spinky.
That should be his new name.
Yeah, Spinky.
Yeah. Name was his name, should be that.
What was that? Oh,
He
yeah,
won't
yeah,
go for it.
Spinky.
He'll figure it out. It might work for a couple of weeks, but eventually he'll figure it out.
Yeah, it'll be that. Hey! Wait a minute! Especially if we give him coffee.
Ugh.
Spinky.
Yeah. Which?
He's running.
Well,
Hobbling.
hobbling.
He's hobbling. He's hop, skipping, and jumping.
Fred, they just abandoned us.
I think so. So I think we need a takeover.
I agree. I just can't believe they just didn't even
I-
say
I-
goodbye,
I
didn't
think-
give us a heads up. They just walk around the room like complete douchebags.
I think we should keep it esoteric and highbrow while they're gone.
Oh, do you think that we should talk like we're, super fancy British people?
I think so.
All right then, dear. Or do you think that we should talk like, we are educated Southern individuals?
I don't think I've ever seen one of those. Now,
Well,
Margaret.
Fred, that this is pretend time.
No,
You
no.
don't have to.
Now, Margaret, put that back in your drawer, because I think that's just perverted. and my husband would not approve.
To be honest, dear, your husband does not approve of anything.
Well, that's
He does
true.
not respect you.
But he has a lot of money.
He sure does, and I know you love to spend a child.
That's it.
Quick, he's back.
No, pie are round, cornbread are square.
What?
That's a bad joke. It's a bad math joke.
No, what's bad math joke is, what's the square root of 69?
I don't know.
8 something.
You
But
just
if
got
you actually
disgusting
tried-
again when the doc comes back in the room.
If you actually try to square root 69, it's actually 8.459.
8 something.
8 something.
8 something.
Oh God.
You know, Fred and I were having an intelligent conversation
Yes.
before you two got back.
Then
Well,
we
my work
started
here is
off,
done.
huh? Well, we started off just being, you know,
We
highbrow
started off
British.
being British,
Yeah.
and then we decided that we should, you know,
Go
try
southern.
and be a bit more of the southern
And then I said, now,
type.
and then I said, now, Ashley, put that naughty thing back in the drawer. You know my husband wouldn't approve.
Are you
And
talking
then it
about this?
derailed. Huh?
So what's up with the book?
I just thought it was funny.
Fred, you
Sex
know
for
your
dummies.
Oh, I
husband
agree.
came down the
However,
cover
it's funny. I opened it up and the first thing I see is
Not
avoiding
even with
date
a
rape.
map and direct.
What?
What?
No, you didn't. It knew it was you. It knew
What
it
did it
was
say?
you. Look at it.
One of the
Avoiding
chapters in
date
the
rape.
book is avoiding date rape.
Yeah. A little before that, I found, you know, like something on the missionary position, and the first thing I
I
saw
saw a
next to
picture.
it was common drawbacks.
Because guys have to work too hard?
No, God, are you kidding? Especially after my accident, my knee is all messed up. Forget it, man. We got to try something different. That's what I had to tell my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah, time for her to work her knees.
That's right. Get a little rug burn, honey. It's not going to hurt. Come
Your
on.
turn.
That's right here.
Mhm. And oh, by the way, I like being taken by force. Thanks.
Pull my hair.
That's right.
Mhm. Yeah, you crack out the cuffs this time.
And call
Yeah,
me
you're
a
gonna
bad
have to work
man.
for it. I'm telling you.
Call me a bad man repeatedly. That's it, darling.
Wow. Hey, there's a chapter on sex and marriage. Is this an either or?
Is
Yeah.
marriage optional?
Here's something. It says don't play games with each other. What?
No naked twister?
I don't know. I was just generally thinking, you know, the
I think I'd break a hip if I tried naked twister.
I've seen. Well, no, it wasn't naked. It was co-ed twister, and there were way too many people involved. At one point, there were 2 people who were both apparently on a lot of LSD. I forget who they were. But we were the ones holding the spinner. And
Spinners.
Yes!
funny, it took us a couple of minutes each time it spun until it stopped spinning and we could figure out which color that was. But I remember
was
calling
one
out,
spinner.
green. At which point this one guy looks up and goes, "You gotta be shitting me." There was no conceivable way it would have worked.
Yeah. That's that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
Right on, James.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just can't see the whole Lou Reed thing. I'm sorry.
Neither can I.
Take a walk on the wild side. Yeah.
No.
What
Okay,
the
so
fuck
who's
is that?
doing Lou Reed?
Metallica is working with him on their new album, which is entitled "Can We Sell Out Even Harder?" I think.
Wow, it's like, it's such a perfect day, yeah.
Hello.
Chantalay said he was a she.
Oh my god, what a bad idea.
Yes.
Is Lou hard up for cash these days? Is that what's up?
It must be.
Yeah.
It's one thing to work with your influences.
Yeah,
Yes.
but I don't
Look at Dave Grohl. He was able to work with Killing Joke,
Yeah.
which was one of his all-time favorite influences, all-time favorite bands, and it was one of those once-in-a-lifetime opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Not only, and he was supposed to guest star on one song, and he convinced the band, let me play on the whole record.
Mm-hmm.
And they came out with the record, and it was a phenomenal record. That's
Yes.
one thing. But to sit there and go, being one of the major 4 American heavy metal bands in the world, hanging out with Lou Reed.
Yeah. Well, you can hang out with him just fine. Recording with him is there was a Lou Reed
Record with him
song
for
in-
shits and giggles. Don't record to actually make money.
There was a Lou Reed song in the 80s, which I would love to know the title of, because it was either late 70s, early 80s. I think it was early 80s. and it didn't sound anything like what you're normally familiar with Lou Reed sounding like, and there was a lot of percussion in it, and I liked that. And it wasn't Dirty Boulevard; it was something. I think before
R.E.M.
then.
covered a Lou Reed song.
Yeah, but and the Pale Blue Eyes thing.
Pale
But
Blue Eyes.
But I don't remember. It's driving me nuts. And I used to have, one of those mixtape, I guess you would call it these days, collection of stuff, and that was in there because I liked the drum beat. It was like da 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 da. And I cannot, and I'd have to go through his entire collection and listen to it. And I'm not willing to do that.
Yeah.
But there was actually that one that I thought, okay, well, that's decent, and maybe that's what they're going for, is that effect. I don't know, but even if they do,
No. They're probably going for an effect that sounds more like cha-ching.
yes,
I think a lot of because it can really, I mean, when different artists tend to work together, it really can go in a good way or a bad way, and I think why there's such reservations about Metallica working with Lou Reed is just looking at Metallica's most recent work and
Lou Reed's most recent work?
Exactly. So putting the two together is there's little logical hope that
Lou-
it
I
will
disagree.
turn
I
out.
Lou
think there's a
has his-
very good logical reason behind the whole thing. I mean,
No. Logical hope for what it will sound like, not logistics as to why they're working.
But
Oh
the
yeah,
thing
yeah.
is-
Desperation, actually, I think is
but-
one reason.
And the thing is, Lou's got
Interruption.
his place. I mean, he was with the Velvet Underground, and then he did that other stuff, and he's got his place cemented in the
Are we
annals.
talking the heroin or the speed?
Either one,
Yeah.
both.
Just by the way, Dave Grohl appeared on the 2003 self-titled Killing Joke album.
Good album.
I do love Blood on Your Hands, which is from that album, I believe.
know,
Killing Joke's another one of those bands that have epic album titles, such as right after 2003's Killing Joke was Hosannas from the Basement
Basement of Hell.
which was an awesome record, an awesome title.
Yes.
I love me some Killing Joke.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie.
One
Dr.
of the
Weiss,
best
thank
bands
you.
ever.
Thank you, Dr. Weiss, for introducing
Not
me
a
to them.
problem. Hey, they were the godfathers or actually progenitors of industrial metal, so, considering the fact they were a post-punk band, this is kind of awesome.
Well, speaking of that, it seems like, early, 80s metal, as it were, but proper 80s metal, kind of got its influences a little bit from the whole punk thing.
You're talking the hair rock thing, right?
No, I mean,
Oh.
shit, Metallica listed its influences as Misfits, yada, yada,
But-
yada.
Yeah, but I think they were lying.
Well, yeah. Well, but then
Budgie, Priest, they were a big European metal
Yeah,
fans.
They were actually quoted, though, as saying at one point the reason that they did the Misfits song was because what's the guy from Faith No More, the one with the stupid glasses and the fro?
Jim Martin.
Yeah, Jim Martin used to come over and hang out with him, specifically, I think, Cliff Burton, and used to play the Misfits all the time, and when he'd leave, they'd make fun of it a lot. So, I think that sort of got tacked on after they realized that there were actually Misfits fans.
and you know what else? I think the reason that Metallica did so what is just so James could use the word fuck a lot.
Yeah, I know.
But I thought that Metallica did not do the Killing Joke cover justice. I don't think they did the song
Well,
justice.
they
They
covered
covered
Killing
Killing
Joke?
Joke.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Which one?
The Wait.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, they did
I
a
haven't heard
fair
the Metallica
job.
version.
It's off the it's off
Garage
the
Stage.
998 EP Garage Stage re-release.
I liked the Anti-Nowhere League's original version of So What, and what I loved about it was the BBC refused to play it because it was, quote, ludicrously obscene.
It was ludicrously
Yeah.
obscene.
But that's why I like it, I gotta tell you this
You
real
might
quick.
not know this,
I'm
but
gonna-
Led Zeppelin is a bit of a dirty, dirty man.
Yes.
The only time the word-
Excellent.
The only time
Yes.
the word cunt should ever be uttered is by a female.
But
I
you know-
disagree. I think when Animal said it in So What, it was rather appropriate. James
Yeah.
Hetfield decided to swap that out with the word fuck, and I thought, well, yes, that's kind of cute. You're sort of missing the point. The idea is to be offensive.
Right.
Saying fuck nowadays is a watchword, kind of like, terrorism is. Still ends up pulling more weight and pissing off more people.
Unless you're from England.
I
That's
gotta
what everybody
They
says.
and
use the
speaking
word
of the
cunt a
whole
lot.
them selling out thing,
Mhm.
when I first moved down here, Better Half decided in her late 30s she wanted to piss off her husband by liking heavy metal, And the worst thing she could do was become the chapter head for North Carolina and South Carolina for Metallica's fan club, which he really got pissed off about. So anyway, she would get front row seats, backstage passes for their shows whenever she wanted to go, and we were in the Load tour. And I'm going to describe this to you because it's fucking funny. If you get cunning stunts, stunning cunts, whatever, you know what they were going for.
Yeah.
If you get that DVD, the very first song they do is So What? Well, we're sitting there waiting for the show to start and all. And this dude, librarian-looking motherfucker, he might as well have been wearing a bow tie, comes in with his two little boys with Load shirts on, and they both had glasses, just like Daddy. And they both look like nerdy little kid, beautiful little boys. So a couple of seats forward from where we were and over here, they sit down. And this was, I think, this was the second time on that tour. We saw it like 5 times because she kept getting tickets. And so anyway, the concert starts up. James comes out just like on the DVD, and he says, "Oh yeah? Oh yeah? So fucking what?" And he starts ripping into the song, and maybe 30 seconds or a minute into now these kids are not older than 10. I'd say, well, maybe 9 and 11. So Dad is so offended by the very first song in the entire show, he gets up and walks and leaves his kids sitting there with their Load shirts on. Yeah. So, but what they did stupidly by making those albums like that was they attracted mommy, daddy, FM airplay people because of 2 or 3 of their songs. So they come not knowing anything about their catalog, and if they did know about their catalog, they don't usually cuss on their studio albums. So if they'd have bought any of their live shit or researched it at all, the internet actually existed then, they would have known, holy shit, I don't want to go see that. It's like, what is it, Uncle Cracker does one song that gets airplay and then the rest of them are all either ridiculously stupid or obscene or whatever, and everybody goes, "Oh, I like Uncle Cracker because he covered that there, what's his name song." You know, it's that kind of syndrome. And, you know, I look at this and I'm like, what the fuck?
I mean, you gotta think too. I mean, what you're saying. I mean, we discussed before about how, you know, by trying to be marketed and trying to make more money,
Yes.
you know, there's that dichotomy. But you also have to look into. You're also projecting the fact that parents don't want to parent
No.
anymore.
And yeah, we talked about that.
I mean, you know, if you're a parent and you're taking your children to see a show,
Yep.
it's kind of it is your responsibility to research as to exactly what it's about,
Yep.
and whether or not you feel as though it's appropriate for your child. I'm not,
Exactly.
you know, it's not saying how you parent your children. It's just saying you need to. You can't expect everybody else in society to raise your children for you. You're
Well,
gonna have
they
to
do
work a
that.
little
They
bit.
do now, though, and then it's you know, you didn't have this sign up, therefore, for instance, for this site, we have a parental advisory
Right.
that says we say fuck a lot. Well, if that doesn't give you a hint, you don't want your kids listening, you're a fucking idiot, and you should have your parent card ripped up and thrown in the trash.
It's also horribly irresponsible for someone, you know, as you described, a father taking their
Yes.
impressionable children to Metallica, who suck.
Which is why I would have taken any of my kids, including my 7-year-old, to go see Iron Maiden
Yeah.
when I went last year.
Yeah, but
I
that's
would not-
quality
It's
entertainment.
quality.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's great music, and it wasn't adult oriented to the point where
Right.
you had to censor their
Well,
ears.
they don't. And
I
see-
would have not taken any of my kids to go see Suicidal Tendencies or Limp Bizkit or Metallica.
Right.
I would have gone myself.
Right.
I would even be very weary to take them to go see Megadeth. I love Megadeth. I think Dave Mustaine's a great guitarist, a great songwriter.
Well, there's the
But there's that whole
environment.
And Dave
F-bomb.
Mustaine has personality.
Right. And but there's
But
the whole.
Maiden, I'd take them to see Maiden all damn day.
And then well, I mean, because going to a rock show is an adult environment, and if you're gonna and I'll freely admit that I took my son to his first rock show when he was 8 years old, and he's still thanking me.
Yeah, but tell them which band it was that you took him to see.
Oh, well, let's see. There were the first 3 shows I took him to see. The first one was, the first one was Mr. Plant when he was doing his 1988 solo tour. So, and he was doing his old catalog finally and all that. My son was like, wow! And he, and so
Weren't
then
there also lasers? Was it that show that had
no,
lasers?
then the next one I took him to was Jimmy Page. And he wasn't, and this was when people were expecting him to take Robert with him, and he didn't. So the Capitol Center, which seats 25,000, had about 12,000 people in it. And the upper decks were empty. So first we sat there on the bottom, and then, he comes on and then does this solo thing, and then he starts playing Over the Hills and Far Away, and when they get to the drum section, the lasers were going almost right over our head. And my son, his 8-year-old son, gets this look on his face, like his face just grew about like this. He's going, "Whoa, Dad!" And I'm like,
See, I never actually got into the whole laser thing because that was pretty much my living room during the 90s. And believe me, it was even more technicolor than that, but we're not going to discuss why, because the FBI might have been interested in me at some point.
yes.
But, yeah.
Speaking of telegraphing to
Personally, I believe though that you ought to give your children some direction to go in, such as when I was 6, my mother, being the wonderful person she is, actually guided my musical taste very carefully by hand with Alice Cooper's "Welcome to My Nightmare," pretty much guaranteeing that I would be a creepy little bastard for the rest of my life.
See, when I was growing up, my father listened to Neil Diamond, Conway Twitty.
Simon and Garfunkel.
So my mother listened to Simon
Oh,
and
okay.
Garfunkel.
My mom
Conway
was
Twitty is
listening.
basically country emo, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wait. My mom listened to the Association. She listened to the Beatles. I did not get my musical influence from either of my parents.
Well, I didn't really
So
either.
when I got to the Iron Maiden show, I'm seeing this father about my age with his 8-year-old kid, and we're standing in line ready to go into the procession and hand over our tickets. Now he's just sitting there with a smile, seeing the sea of people. I mean, there's literally a trail all the way out to the highway, and he's all bewildered and everything. And I just looked down at him, and he looked up at me. He goes, "What?" I said, "You got the coolest dad ever."
Yeah.
He goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "My parents would have never taken me to this show when I was a kid. So you think you're dad?"
But when I took him, by the time I took him to that show, he'd been listening to my record collection, and I'm like, okay, there's, these are kind of adultish kind of things, and you're going to see women walking around with their boobs hanging out and stuff like that, so don't be surprised.
You don't take a kid to a Motley Crue show.
No.
What?
But the sad thing
Especially when
about
Tommy Lee has the camera.
Quiet, or
The
your baby
sad-
privileges will be revoked.
the sad thing about going to older rock star shows is that the women that go to them, and the guys, to be fair, but because I notice women, I'm not really looking at guys, but
Sure.
the women are still dressing like they were in their 20s, and they're not.
Look, I don't need to see a 60-year-old roadie chick.
Exactly, that's what I'm talking about.
Sorry, woman.
And
Yeah.
they're like,
What are you doing?
and they look like Tammy Faye at this point.
Yeah, 60's a little. 40, I can deal with 40.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Well, hell, I'm 55, so I can deal with 70 now.
Word! I think we're in the same
I will
boat.
freely admit, I did forget one detail. My mother introduced me to the Alan Parsons Project. I will admit that.
So
she introduced me to Broadway.
See, but when I was growing up, my dad was classical. My mom was Tom Jones, Engelbert Humperdinck, and then my sisters came to her and said, "Mom, there's this artist you need to listen to, Janis Joplin." And she says, "Really? Yeah. Oh, and then you ought to listen to Hendrix." And she's like, "Really? Yeah." And this is, when they were both alive and in their heyday and all that sort of thing. And my mom, to this day, at age 77, says that instead of all these bullshit renditions of the national anthem at football games and all that they should just play Hendrix's Woodstock version of the national anthem and leave it at that.
I will also admit the one song I can't stand as much as Simon and Garfunkel is Me and Bobby McGee. I fucking hate Janis Joplin.
Well, the reason you hate that song is because it's overplayed.
I just hate Janis Joplin. I don't think she...
It's
I don't
weird.
like Jimi Hendrix. I don't like the Doors. I don't like Janis Joplin.
I like Jimi Hendrix, but I have to go along with that. I do like Jefferson Airplane for
Yep.
various reasons, but
Yeah, because they were good when
We
you're
built this city, man.
when you're doing it.
Oh,
That's a fucking
airplane, plain.
Exactly.
But generally, you know, if I'm ever in the mood for that kind of stuff, I just slap on Love by the Cult and I just get my fix.
Yeah.
It pretty much covers all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah.
Yeah, why go out of your way? Just, oh yeah, that, boom.
Done.
Right in the arm.
Yeah, yeah.
I will freely admit, I mean, everybody has their taste in their music. There's a list of bands I can't stand. I can't understand why they're making money. I don't understand the popularity behind a lot. I don't understand the popularity behind punk at all. That's just me.
It depends. Like, you and I have one punk song in common that we were talking about when
The only Ramones song I like was "I Want to Be Sedated."
Oh, I love that
Everything they've ever released.
And you know,
is the only song I like.
I wore that. I
hate
wore the title of that song on a T-shirt into a surgery once, and I just had such a blast.
The only Sex Pistols song I liked was "Anarchy in the UK." That's the only Sex Pistols song they ever released I liked.
Yeah, I'm not.
They're acquired taste.
Now the Clash. Oh, I'll listen.
Actually,
Rocky Casbah, fuck that.
Hold on.
No,
I can
that's
tell
not
you
what I'm
exactly
talking about.
what it is. One can acquire the taste for punk, which I did, actually a little late. But I have to say I am a complete unapologetic punk fanatic.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, when I'm talking that, I'm talking mostly the New York stuff
Yes.
from before 1979.
Yep.
While there have been a couple of bands that have come out since then, Degeneration specifically, who were a phenomenal retrospective take on it.
Interesting.
There were a couple of punk bands who came out in the UK post 1976 that were quite good. They generally lasted one album.
Yeah.
The Sex Pistols, let's face it, pretty much most of that stuff though was Let's Be Chuck Berry for an album.
Right.
And yeah, that's great. If you want a whole lot of Chuck Berry revivalism, phenomenal stuff for it. The movement, however, couldn't last past 1978 and completely collapsed on itself after Steve Jones said "fucker" on the radio, and literally, and
Interesting.
you dirty old fucker. At which point, you know, punk then took a bonehead approach, and you ended up with a whole lot of idiots who had 3 brain cells to rub together amongst
And
4
knew
of
how to
them.
play
And
two
listen,
chords.
played 2 chords.
2 chords or less.
Yeah.
2 chords or less for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes, and
Have you seen the greatest hits?
I'm really mad.
Have you seen the greatest hits?
Oh, the
listed for
Exploited.
Ramones? There's 32 tracks on that damn thing.
okay, hold on. Now,
I have it right over
Ramones-
there.
The Ramones, however, qualify as the prior to that, you know,
Yes.
New York scene. What they were doing, I understood it.
Right.
The idea was you had so much prog rock and, you know, radio-oriented rock going on.
At the same
They
time
were
as disco.
annoyed. Disco, as a matter of fact, was a healthier movement than what was going on the radio. At least it had some sort of underground appeal. People were listening to it. People didn't, well, initially. Later on, it turned into a complete farce. But, you know, the whole idea behind it was to be able to do something that was exciting again.
Yes.
And let me tell you, in the mid-90s, or early 90s, things were pretty friggin' dismal here, too. So that's how I got into punk rock.
Right.
Well, I mean, yeah, you look at the alternative scene.
Yeah.
Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam, and Soundgarden.
Now that word means absolutely nothing.
Right, because basically Steve Harris said, I think it was Steve Harris said that when alternative became mainstream, heavy metal became the alternative.
Yes, which
So
it did.
when something's not mainstream, it's classified as alternative. It didn't become popular. The word didn't become popular until the bands Alice in Chains and Pearl Jam and all the Seattle scene came out.
Well, you know.
Yeah, before it was like REM.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
which
now.
is now considered college rock.
And
Or
now-
post-punk.
Or
Or at
post-punk.
least the early stuff. Is
Right.
You know.
Era.
But now what you hear on the radio is no longer the rock that, you know, I'm familiar with or you grew up with or you did. Now it's all
I could just kill them.
and it means nothing except, you know.
Or you end up with the rock that, you know, is the AIDS we call Nickelback.
Right.
There are some minorities in this room.
Yes, there are. But wait. But
Early Nickelback. Early Nickelback was really good.
Yeah,
Early.
because that was before
But
the
the
record
last
company.
the last two albums they did sucked.
But let's face it, Chad Kroeger sounds...
Georgiana Peach
I had a
has
friend,
joined the
at one point
conversation.
he was telling me of a great money-making device he wanted. He wanted to sell the Michael McDonald Beardatron,
Yes.
which basically would modify one's voice to make it sound like one singing through a beard.
Right.
There being a different setting for Bob Seger and Chad Kroeger.
But okay, but
Chad
what
had this gruffy
And he enunciates every single
Every
syllable.
The one thing,
Yeah,
the one thing that I
I want to
appreciate.
know is what is there about rock music now that's actually interesting, like the stuff I grew up with, you grew up with, you grew up with.
That's very hard to find.
And there really isn't anything.
very
The one
And
that's- the
There
one
is, but it's not allowed on the radio.
Exactly.
The one-
When
What
you
is
have
it?
people like-
Country.
when you've got people like
Or
the
this
Killers
country.
or My Chemical Romance playing on the radio constantly, you're not going to hear very
Yeah.
good
So,
stuff.
but
No.
who of this era or whatever or these days would you listen to?
One of the few contributing efforts that Chad has given to me personally that I personally appreciated was he's responsible for Default, which is a great Canadian prog rock band. I do like that band.
Yeah, but when's the last time you heard anything?
They just released an album last year.
Anything good?
Well, they don't get a lot of radio play because a lot of people, the critics, blasted them for sounding like a lighter version of Nickelback. But there's nothing wrong with their music.
Already,
Nobody gives them a chance
Well,
because they're associated
No, but
with
again, I liked
See.
them when they first came out, but I haven't liked anything else.
And what would you say?
I've been listening to a band called Dope Stars Inc. for the last couple of months, and I have to definitely give them a huge thumbs up. They're from Italy
Yeah.
and sing in English. Accent isn't too terrible.
That's
And,
nice.
They sound like an electro-industrial motley crew,
It's
which
fun.
I'm not going to argue
Fun.
with. It sounds fun.
Wow.
It sounds exciting.
Dope Stars Inc.
The lyrics generally run between totally beyond cyberpunk all the way to cross-dressing, which I'm okay with.
We're all okay with Kiss doing it.
I
and
will
everything
not
else,
shave
so-
my legs.
And
so-
with
Exactly.
Dope Stars Inc., their most recent album that came out in May of 2011 is actually downloadable off their site, so you have no reason not to go check it out.
Dope Stars
Yeah.
Inc. is an alternative and industrial rock band formed in Rome, Italy in late 2002, though the band was not officially formed until 2003.
Yes.
Yeah.
Victor Love, Darren Yvonne, Grace Cole, I'm probably mispronouncing that's Khold, and Brian Wolfram.
Yeah.
They have 4 albums.
And then their the side project, is it pronounced Epo Shots?
Perhaps I'm not sure. I'm not.
It's
Epicus
spelled
or-
E-P-O-C-H-A-T.
The Foreshadowing,
It's also really good.
Klimt, 1918, Chaos
Six
Zero,
Games?
My Sixth Shadow, and Epicot.
You must locate
most of
James.
those bands, however, are associated with, I believe, the
Ziggy.
first guitarist.
Ziggy.
Epicot is a side project Victor Love has with some other guy. It's fairly alright. It has a rather epic sound, but it's not party music. I would consider Dope Stars Inc. to be party music, which, let's face it, who can get enough of that?
I like party music.
I mean, come on. The other day, I was listening to Def Leppard's High and Dry, because, let's face it rocked. I mean, I couldn't help it. Sometimes I just listen to Me and My Wine 3 times in a row.
I'm going to be investigating that later.
Sometimes
High and
I'll
Dry
listen
was probably
to it
one
all
of
the
their
way.
best albums ever.
Yes. I'll listen to it until I'm done with my 40. And I'll listen to it again.
There you go.
That's
Well, I
it.
think-
It's like we
Dr.
talked about for the
Weiss-
longest time. He was. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think Dr. Weiss brought up a point that I was trying to make is, because everybody keeps asking, well, what do you listen to? What do you listen to that's current, that's anything good? And it's, I don't listen to anything from this country.
Yeah.
I tend to go to other countries. Or, if it is from this country, it tends to be stuff from the 80s, stuff from the 70s, like older stuff. It doesn't, it's
Yeah.
nothing current that's coming out in
Which
the
leads me
States.
to the conversation that we had.
So
with,
if you know a contemporary artist that is good, please let me
it
know.
was like one of our first shows. He decided to crack on me by basically saying 80s music sucks. And
Yeah.
Sideswiped him.
Literally
Sideswiped him. Like, he
So-
was just like, hey, Analog Kid, guess what? Bam!
Yeah.
So I made
I did a
compilation
drive-by on it.
CDs. I made them basically mixed CDs of hair bands and new wave
Yeah.
80s music, and he actually liked 90% of it.
The thing about it is, hold on, I gotta say, now, there are things called fighting words, killing words, and well, we're going to go with an entire Kaiser Soze phrase. Which, I'm sorry, but if you have to say 80s music sucks, that is exactly the wrong thing to say about the 80s. In fact, 80s music was the only thing about the 80s that didn't.
Well, I'll put it this way, because we, like, for instance, we've talked a lot about, because I was basically yanking his chain. Now, I will also say, because I know how much he likes the 80s. Now, I will also say that for a fair amount of the 80s,
Did you know?
I woke up and the only time I was sober was from the time my feet hit the floor till I got to the fridge. So
That was probably your best move.
exactly, exactly. But there were actually when he made me when he oh, that's excellent, yeah. When he made me the retrospective of stuff, there was some stuff that I didn't know at all, and there was a lot of stuff on there that I got reacquainted with that I already liked from then but had forgotten about or was in the alcoholic stupor and don't remember it, and then only but the production values on 80s music was so much better than a lot of the production values in the 70s, depending on who it is. So by that alone, 80s music is way better than anything previous as far as production is concerned, because they had the equipment. But then what some of them did with it, I guess, is like, okay, 60s had bubblegum, which, ugh, please. 70s had your, like, Edison Lighthouse and T-Set and, the pop stuff that really was catchy on AM radio, which still existed.
Oh, like Gordon Lightfoot?
Yes, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with Sundown, damn it.
I'm just saying.
There's a...
Hey, I still cry to the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Generally, that takes 3 40s for when I go.
Yeah. Well, but yeah, so and
Plus
then,
70s was also the high time
for progressive rock.
And folk music. A lot of folk music.
The 60s
Harry Chapin,
60s
Cat
was the main...
Stevens got his big
okay,
70s.
okay. Mellow kind of stuff.
Mellow folk music.
Yeah, like James Taylor, Cat Stevens.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Gordon
okay.
Lightfoot.
And of course, let's not forget the yacht rock set of things like Michael McDonald and, oh, come on.
You know what? When Michael McDonald got to the Doobie Brothers, I was like, oh, geez, this band has been pissed down the toilet now.
No, man, that's what a fool believes.
No, my friend.
But, and stay thirsty, my friend. what was the name we came up with? No. The name to be referred to as a single male was what?
Oh, ranchero.
Stay thirsty, rancheros. And I have to see a man about a horse. I'll be right back. You two hold down the fort if you know what I'm saying.
Speaking of which,
you look at Giselle talked about one time about she hates labels, especially when it comes to music. And I'm like, well, if you're trying to describe something, you have to give it a label. If you're trying to introduce a band or a genre to somebody who's never heard it, and you love this particular type of band or genre, you have to give it a label in conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So labels are easy to remember. They're monikers.
I also believe in the idea of stacking as many labels on something as possible in order to get your point across.
Exactly. Like, I mean, friend and I have this running joke that we're, at the same time, we're serious about. If a gun was put up to our head and we had to give Pink Floyd a label, it would be Pink Floyd, because there's no other band ever that's like Pink Floyd.
No, but I think psychedelic prog blues rock might pull it off, sort of.
True. I would probably argue that if I had to explain what Pink Floyd was to somebody who's never heard of them, and then I'd ask them what rock do they know.
Yes. See, the reason you can get away with saying Pink Floyd is because anyone who hasn't heard Pink Floyd probably has not come out of their basement because their parents haven't unlocked it yet.
And the other thing about that band in particular, that's the one band, and I'm sure there's others, and you would probably edify me in this regard, but that's the one band I can think of that there's rock, and there's various types of rock, and then there's Pink Floyd, and they have created that sound by themselves. Well, it took them a while, but when they got to Dark Side of the Moon, say, that sound was theirs and still is. And the only band that had, in my opinion, tried to sound like them was
Alan Parsons Project.
No. Well, okay, there's two.
Because Alan Parsons came up with that sound.
Yeah, that's not a tried to sound. That sort of an incidentally occurred that way, sort of thing.
Yeah, right. But who Silent Lucidity people.
That's right.
Yeah. they tried on that song, in my opinion, to sound like Pink
Of course, because they labeled as Pink Floyd as one of their influences.
Yeah, well, but
they sucked.
But you know what the thing is? Pink Floyd owns that feel, that sound, that whatever you want to call it. You hear that and you know it's them, and nobody else.
You click on the radio and you hear less than 3 notes of David Gilmour playing the guitar. You know what you're listening to.
Mostly because all 3 of those notes have a heavy delay on them.
It's like he and I got into an argument back and forth that I thought that David Gilmour was a better guitarist than Eric Clapton.
Disagree.
I disagree as well.
In fact,
I haven't seen Pink Floyd, you bastard.
Eric Clapton plays guitar. That's interesting. I'll listen to that. David Gilmour plays guitar, and I want to cry.
Okay, here's one thing though. You may want to. This is a question. Are you talking skill or the ability to create music on the guitar?
The ability to create music.
Okay,
sound.
fair enough. Fair
sound.
enough. Skill-wise, Eric Clapton is light years ahead of David Gilmour.
Mm-hmm.
David Gilmour even said himself that most of the reason that he's able to pull it off is he knows how to use
I think we've had
effects
this
pedals.
discussion.
Right.
And but still, it's like Jimi Hendrix and distortion. It's still part of the sound. If you know how to use your pedals, if you know how to use your amp, it creates a completely different thing than just being able to play it slow and, you know.
But you can't ask Eric Clapton to play Eric Clapton as a guest star on a Pink Floyd song. It wouldn't work.
No, it works on Dire Straits just fine. But
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you get David Gilmour. We were listening to Pink Floyd before everybody showed up, and we were listening to Sorrow, which was off of Momentary Lapse of Reason, and just the mournful sound dripping from the damn strings that is playing.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there, just
Well,
close
okay.
my eyes. I'm just
Here's
gonna chill.
here's another way of describing that sort of thing. You could take Jimmy Page, and a lot of guitarists can wipe the floor with him.
Yeah, but he was sloppy in such an absolutely perfect way.
Exactly.
The man knew how to play from the crotch.
Right. And
Yeah.
if you there's a documentary where it's him, The Edge from U2, and Jack White talking about playing the guitar. And you can just watch the interaction between the 3 of them, and they all have their own styles. Like in the beginning of the thing, Jack White is creating a guitar off a piece of wood and nail and a string, and he's using a bottle for a slide.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fun watching that. And then they're talking to Jimmy, and he's sitting there going, in a room like this, albums all over the place, and he takes this one out by Dwayne Eddy.
Dwayne Eddy did Rebel Rouser.
Yeah, well, I think it's Dwayne Eddy. So no. Anyway, so he takes it out and he starts playing it, and he says, "Listen to the vibrato," and it's getting louder. And all of a sudden, he's like 6 years old all over again, talking about it. That man, and then they had this other piece where he's sitting in his, I guess, day room or living room or something. And he's just strumming away on the guitar on this piece that I don't even know the name of because he hasn't put it out. But it's one of those things where that is like so much a part of him. Mm-hmm. Just like Eric Clapton, just like David Gilmour. Those guys, their guitar, they would sleep with it. Even in their 60s or 70s, you'd probably find them like this, or Mark Knopfler, let's say, or whoever you want to name that's like that. And that's and as far as either now David Gilmour, I put in a similar class to Eric Clapton in that he is very precise about what he does, whereas Jimmy goes out there and you can hand him a guitar and he'll go, "Oh yeah, no problem," and he'll have a blast without thinking too much about it. But those 2 guys think an awful lot about it. Well, Jimmy does too, but in this respect, they're like very brutish about what they do, and they think an awful lot about it. And Jeff Beck is like that.
Jeff Beck.
And Jeff Beck is a phenomenal guitarist.
He's a phenomenal guitarist, but I do not want to hear a human being play the guitar like he's a computer.
Well, right, and see, and that is the reason that if I were to take the 3 rock gods of England, which are Beck, Clapton, and Page, I'd rather listen to Jimmy because he
plays from the crotch.
And when he's playing from here as much as he's playing with his fingers and his brain. He's playing.
You gotta remember you're talking to Radioland.
Yeah.
You're romanticizing that.
Yes.
It all comes from hear.
And-
You can
and-
feel everything that comes out of his fingertips.
Indeed, and in fact, when I saw it, I've listened to the guy for decades. When I saw him a year and a half ago, and in his 60s, and he's sitting there, and on the stage there's this big throw rug, and he has a chair sitting on the throw rug, and he's sitting down playing Layla, and I'm, the acoustic version of that. And I'm sitting there watching, going, I've listened to this guy on record for a really long time, and
Real quick interruption.
oh,
The huge black kitty that you guys have, Marley, just stood up on his hind legs, and he was about as tall as a 7-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of freaked me out a little bit.
Please say small.
But yeah, speaking of him feeling every note, he does too. It's just he's more technically precise.
He
Whereas, okay, but on the other end of the spectrum, Jeff Beck is perfect at the guitar, and I'd fall asleep watching.
Yeah, but you see, the whole thing is I consider both Clapton and Beck to be about as rock and roll as a throw rug. I mean, seriously.
A bear throw rug?
No, a rabbit throw rug. The kind that you have sex with a vegan on. What?
That was good.
Just don't tell him till afterwards.
There's only
Until
one
after
shot of
they
protein.
come.
But yeah, the whole thing about it is, seriously, those guys are completely non-threatening in any way, shape, or
Right,
form.
right.
There is absolutely nothing that is rock and roll excess about this.
Right.
And I'm sorry, I expect to have my rock star, A, with a hooker, and B, doing blow off her backside.
Yeah.
Good idea. And if he can keep doing guitar while that's happening,
That's fucking awesome.
I bought his albums. All of them. Yeah.
Twice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The word rock and roll to the old black blues guys that
Was
set up
sex.
the blues and created it was sex. Exactly.
That's what it's about. Throw whiskey on top of it?
Yeah.
Well, be careful. If you
And
throw
blows.
glitter on top of it, you can either end up with, T-Rex or Kesha.
Yes.
Ooh.
But that's not really a burn, because you already admitted that you have kind of become fond of Kesha.
I was going to say,
Oh, yeah, I fapped her. So what?
You what?
Nothing. No, I think she's fine. She's just sleazy enough to keep my interest.
Yeah.
For the
kind
next
of like
couple.
Britney Spears is for me. She's just
Ew.
sleazy enough to keep
Oh
She
God,
sucks.
I would not touch Britney with someone else. Oh yeah, twice.
Especially after that crotch thing in the back of the limo where they went,
No.
what is that?
No, not
No,
touching
oh,
anything
God.
of somebody else's
No,
would
it,
be Lindsay Lohan.
it actually really
Oh, yeah.
bothered me. It bothered me when I found out Britney Spears was pregnant, because that meant someone was stupid enough to have unprotected sex with
Twice.
that.
Twice.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, no,
Bad
Fred,
move.
my comment to what you had said was, we had talked about earlier about how if you're a douchebag, it's really hard for me to like your music,
Right.
even though I know it's supposed to be separate, but that kind of behavior that you're talking about is douchebag behavior. So
Sure it
that's
is.
probably why I don't go to a lot of concerts, because I would rather enjoy the music and not have to deal
Deal
with
with the person.
the
Exactly.
douchebaggery.
Well,
Since I am female.
Well, yes, exactly. But
I guess if you're a guy, it's completely different.
Oh yeah,
and now
totally.
now there are.
Woo! What?
If she's a slut on stage and shaking her ass up
Who?
there, Kesha.
Yeah.
Hell, I pay.
She's totally willing to do it.
I'd
Not
pay.
only
She's
another
like
fa-
16.
another factor
Really?
involved though. Kesha.
We're definitely
Is-
being watched by the FBI now.
Oh,
You guys
yeah.
are happy.
Oh,
Maybe
Kesha's
18.
well, the big deal with Kesha is she's totally doing it for show.
Yeah.
Willing to make fun
How
of
do you
herself.
spell her
Willing
name?
to do it.
K-E-S-A.
No,
That's actually
K-E
his-
$sign H-A.
All you have to do is put KE dollar sign. You'll get her.
Sad you know that.
Oh, what? No, I have no
Believe me.
problem.
He's got
with
posters
that.
of her on his wall at the house.
No, not yet. I just wallpaper.
She turned 18 in 2005.
Yes!
Huh?
She turned 18 in
Legal.
2005.
Yes.
So the
She's
FBI
very
just
legal.
went shit.
we
Next website.
can talk about her now.
What?
I think she can
She was
drink
born in
now,
She
can't
19
she?
can drink now.
She was
No wonder
born in
why she brushed her
1987.
teeth.
Kesha
That
Rose
name.
Summit.
Mm-hmm. Now the
She was
whole
born
thing
when?
is, no, I saw
1987.
Oh, she
I was 12 years old when she was born.
there was actually a video at one point of her explaining or the whole story, quote unquote, of how she ended up with a dollar sign instead of an S. And it
Yeah.
was when she had a birthday at Shakey's Pizza and they ran out of S's. And yeah, so cute. It was kind of funny. I liked it, and it was obvious she was able to make fun of herself. Then she appeared, on a song with Mickey Avalon, who, let's face it, I love that guy. No one else can leave a trail like a slug with their voice the way he can.
Alright, I'm out. I gotta go pick up kittens.
I have to admit it, super fan. Love the guy.
Who?
Mickey Avalon. He is the biggest chunk of Jewish hip hop, drug-doing, man-whoring sleaze. I mean, most of the songs.
I thought that was David Lee Roth.
Oh, he's better. This guy is better. Most of his material is about doing narcotics or selling his ass on the street.
David, you've come so far since the bar mitzvah. You know what I'm saying to you over there.
Well,
He was born Yeshi Pearl.
Yes, Mickey Avalon.
1975 is an American rapper from Hollywood, California. His debut self-titled solo album was released in 2006 on Interscope Records, which, by the way, is also Nine Inch Nails' records.
Oh boy,
topics
here
of
we go
Avalon's
again.
songs are experience of substance abuse and prostitution.
We're gonna be real.
So,
He kind of looks like the guy from Buck Cherry.
Yeah. Exactly.
Speaking
He
of-
looks just like
It's a
him.
messed up
He's a
face.
tattooed Jew.
The body.
Yes,
Oh,
tattooed
The
Jew.
body, not the
Um,
face.
possibly
Okay.
junkie, maybe
I don't
not
remember
anymore
exactly
ex-prostitute.
what the
Avalon's family, Avalon's
Actually,
family
if you mix
Not
him
because
with
he's wearing makeup or-
Buck Cherry
and Jim Morrison.
No, not
No,
Jim
no,
Morrison.
no.
No.
Way too animate to be Morrison.
What is
You
his
tell me
name?
that doesn't
Did
look like
that
Morrison?
dance song, Lips of an Angel?
Not with those lips. Way too Jewish.
Lips of an Angel. What's the name of the band that did that song? I make fun of him all the fucking time.
Don't know. Must have missed him.
You don't miss anything.
Yeah, I do. I miss stuff
He
I
tries
don't
to be
like.
Steven Tyler.
Oh,
He tries to be
Steven
Steven Tyler on stage all the fucking time. What's his name?
Hinder.
Douchebag.
Hinder. Yes, if you mix him,
Hinder.
Mickey Avalon with the Hinder lead singer and Buck Cherry lead singer, that's what he looks like.
Avalon's family's upbringing was
Tumultuous?
Tumultuous, thank you. His mother sold marijuana for a living, and his father was a heroin addict. He was raised Orthodox Jew.
Lovely.
By drug addicts!
And
Nice.
you wonder how he turned out like that.
He spent time as a prostitute and drug dealer before finding success in music.
No.
Yeah.
You can totally tell by the lyrics.
By his
It's awesome.
early 20s, Avalon got married, had a daughter, and moved to Portland, Oregon, which is where you're going to, say goodbye.
Or get
Right next to Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
Prince Campbell.
Yeah, so, the man has appropriately sleazy lyrics, but they all come from experience, which is frightening yet alluring. I mean, he understands the basis of commerce and selling one's ass on the street, which, I don't mind hearing songs about.
Yes. Now, if I could make money off selling my ass on the street, that'd be something.
Believe me, I've been trying. The rate is bad.
He's only had 2 albums.
Yep.
Ooh.
Mickey Avalon, a self-titled album, and On the Avenue.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't know what I'm talking about.
He's also got a very unique style of approach, so, It's, I mean, the kids should be listening to something rock and roll. That's rock and roll. It may not be, rock and roll as far as music type, but at least it's got a rebellious, appropriate attitude. And I'm not talking gangsta. Forget that. I want nice, self-destructive fury. I want somebody going up like a bottle rocket and popping appropriately at the right time.
Yeah. Well, then there's, going down in flames like G.G. Allen.
True. Which is sad. I mean, everything accounted for. From everything I heard, he died of that overdose because he didn't do heroin and somebody gave him some while he was too drunk.
You're kidding me.
No kidding. Yeah, he just didn't do H. He was a complete drunk.
Yeah.
But, and he pretty much, he wasn't a trash can. It wasn't his kind of thing.
You know what? That actually, that's very interesting that you say that, because the only thing I ever heard was that he was like, sticking his thumb up his own ass on stage and
Oh,
shitting
absolutely.
and doing all that stuff. And I thought, well, if he wasn't the what I now refer to as Shannon Hoon of rock, I don't know who was, but it sounds to me like his death was purely accidental.
It was completely accidental. The man was nothing more than a shock rocker. Pretty
Yeah.
much any opportunity you'd get to piss people off, he'd go for it.
Well, that's also, for instance, you talk about like Alice Cooper,
Yeah.
and that's the reason Marilyn Manson had a fucking career in the first place.
Admittedly. Well, the thing about G.G. Allen, though, was he had an extremely confrontational persona.
Yeah.
Apparently, according to a friend of mine who actually met him, he said Kevin Allen, the non-persona, was the nicest guy in the world,
Yeah.
albeit a complete drunk who smelled really bad. But,
Wow.
Gigi was absolutely abysmal as far as a human being.
And
But Alice Cooper never came across as being a bad person or
no,
confrontational.
even though he was a drunk for the longest time.
But he's also
Admittedly.
very fucking smart.
Yes, very
Ooh,
smart.
Alice
Alice Cooper is one of the most
very.
intelligent
I mean,
people on the planet.
he's,
And in a lot of
he's
ways-
a marketing genius.
Oh yeah, but in a lot of ways, you'd almost consider his form of music to be, if not just theater, high art.
Yeah, indeed.
I mean, the man knew what he was doing, did it well. I've seen him. I saw him live at the House of Blues a couple of years ago. He was amazing. I mean,
Wow.
yeah, he looked like he was going to drop dead of old age at any point, but that didn't stop him. I
No.
mean, he was all over the stage.
Well, he wasn't exactly attractive in his 20s.
Not so
So-
much.
But his wife is
Banging
Banging!
us. And
He's banging! Probably everybody.
and if I were Alice Cooper, my wife would be banging hot.
That's right.
And to be perfectly honest, no. Have you seen his daughter? Oh.
But, he credits that. He credits his wife for saving
Yeah.
his life, basically.
Okay, good.
If I'm not mistaken, I think he credits her for saving, and not the daughter, but the wife
wife.
for saving his life.
Oh yeah, are you kidding? If that were my wife, I'd save my life too.
Yeah, I'd sober up quickly.
well, that
I'd be
also,
like, I need to hang on to that liver because we need to bang for a few more
We've
years.
got things we need to do for the next couple of decades.
That's it. They all involve being in this bedroom.
and on
right?
the extreme side of that, you look at Ozzy Osbourne and Sharon.
Yeah.
That woman has saved Ozzy's life.
Oh, yeah.
And if
Mhm.
Sharon goes first, Ozzy's soon to follow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if Ozzy goes first, Sharon will keep going.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
But that man loves that woman.
Oh, sure he does. And he should.
Yeah, she saved his life, and besides, the number of brain cells he has left, probably all of them are dedicated to Sharon in some way, shape, or form.
Exactly.
I mean,
The man could
Sharon!
The man could not function without her.
No.
Mm-mm.
He, and that she came along when he needed somebody to function.
Because he was
for
about
him.
to self-destruct before she came along.
Right,
Yeah.
but then when she came along, she fulfilled that purpose. But then he
Against
looked at her
her
and
daddy.
went, "Oh," and he looked at her and I guess went, "Oh my God, not only is she helping me out with this, but wow, what a person!" And that was the end of that.
There's not
So-
a lot of people know that Ozzy has a previous marriage before Sharon.
Yeah.
Actually has 2 or 3 kids with his previous marriage.
Yeah,
He's got like 6 or 7 kids.
yeah.
Between his 2.
When I saw him in, what was it, '96?
the 60s and 70s.
Yeah,
What a time that was.
I don't remember him.
Do you know, Dr. Weiss, do you know why I like you being involved in this? Is because you're like a mellowed out version of my brother.
Yeah.
With your humor.
with more music
With more,
information.
yeah, with more music. You're like a mix between Fred and Analog Kid's music knowledge. Maybe.
Except neither one of these guys likes punk at all.
No, I do.
Terrible.
But
Oh,
then
you
you
do?
throw it
Yeah,
in
okay.
with
I
my
like
brother's
some
sporadic
punk. I just as a
ADD
complete
crazy
genre, I just
humor.
think it's a complete waste of time.
And
So are most genres.
yeah.
True.
To be honest,
Yeah.
you take any genre, especially, metal, these days, I would not be completely opposed to somebody dropping 90% of these bands down an exceedingly deep hole.
I don't like death metal. I think it is metal punk.
Are
My-
you talking death metal or black metal?
Cannibal Corpse.
Oh, crap metal. Yeah, they stink.
Crowbar.
So, like, my comment regarding that kind
Biohazard.
of.
You mean Crowbar and Biohazard, the 2 bands that were attempting in some way, shape, or form to ride Pantera's coattails?
Yes.
Okay.
We've had this conversation where I even think
Yeah.
the Great Southern Trendkill, that there's a such thing as too heavy.
Yeah.
My thing
Yeah.
is
Yeah. I couldn't
I
get
don't
into
like
that.
being screamed at. I figure if, and this is something I said before, and I'm gonna say it again because I still truly feel this way. If I really just want to be screamed at for 5 minutes, I'll call up my mother and piss her off. Okay, I love the heavy guitars and whatever.
Or you listen to
I love
If you're gonna
Exactly.
scream at me with your lyrics like the whole time, it's one thing to like kind of throw it in a little bit and work it in, whatever. But if all you're gonna do is scream at me, I'm totally not interested.
Two things. I like the music.
Yes,
Of
love
death
the
metal.
music.
Don't like the vocals. I also don't like the vocals when it's all that growling crap when you can't understand what the
Yeah.
fuck they're saying.
I like big butts.
That's funny.
I used to listen to a lot of death metal back in the early 90s, and I ended up stopping and pretty much going back to 70s punk within like 20 minutes when it all started turning into death jazz. It was a really bad time for it because apparently everybody decided to start doing very interesting key and timing signature changes in the middle of things. I kind of lost interest rather violently with all of that, and a friend of mine actually kind of accidentally left a copy of The Great Rock and Roll Swindle in my CD player while I had it on, and sort of changed my entire viewpoint of it. But there are actually a couple of bands I'll still listen to, and when I mean a couple, I mean one. Yeah. That's basically Bolt Thrower. You know, they were pretty much, once they got their groove on by about their third or fourth album, they were perfect. They didn't use blast beats. They kept everything going in a slow, nasty grind and didn't do too much experimentation, which I'm good with. And, you know, as long as it doesn't turn into jazz and as long as a death metal band is A, talented and capable, and B, not trying to show people how talented and capable there are, you know, they've got my interest. And that's why there's one band I listen to.
Bolt Thrower.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I said, I mean,
They
Pantera
were
did a
great.
Pantera did a great cover of Cat Scratch Fever.
Yeah.
I liked
well,
Cowboys from Hell. After that, didn't care.
When I
Cowboys from Hell was a great album.
Yeah, when I saw them in '97, I guess it was. I saw them twice, and I think it was 2 different years. I think it was once in '96 and once in '97. Once in Winston-Salem and once in Fayette, whatever you want to call that.
Pantera with the Fayette?
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, Phil Anselmo got arrested that night because there were 2 opening acts, one of which was Machine Head.
Yeah.
And Machine Head basically came out and was like, "Oh, Phil Anselmo, Pantera," and it pissed Phil off, and he beat him up, the lead singer. And so he went to jail in Fayetteville that night. But anyway, not that night, but when I saw him in Winston-Salem, I was watching Dimebag.
Also
And
known as Diamond.
yes,
Back in
yes.
the day, it was Diamond.
Back for those first 3 albums.
Yes, sir, Bob. But you know what? I was watching him, and they were doing Planet Caravan, and because the whole crunch chord thing. If I can't pay attention to how many notes it is you're playing, it doesn't matter how many you play because I can't hear them. But and I know he was very good at that, and rest in peace and all that sort of thing. But when I was watching him, when he was playing the blues, I was transfixed because the guy could play the blues flat out. And before he died, he and his brother were talking about doing a country album for their mother, period, just because they knew how to play it and they knew their mother liked it. And they were going to do that for her and then just basically give it to her as a present, I guess. But with watching him play, the man was phenomenal on his instrument. He just was. I mean, if you can do all of that kind of stuff, he could probably do flamenco if you would have asked him to.
Steve Stevens could.
Ah,
Seriously, yeah, from Billy Idol's old guitarist.
really?
Yeah, actually, this album, starts off with Steve Stevens doing flamenco, but the whole thing about Dimebag. Sorry. Anyway,
Score.
Yeah, the whole thing about Diamond Darrell there was, which he still was on Cowboys from Hell, as I recall.
Yes. Yeah,
He
Yeah.
didn't become
Diamond
Dimebag till what? Far Beyond Driven?
Yeah, no. I think it was actually Vulgar Display of Power he started
Display of
doing.
Power.
Yes.
I think. Yeah, back when pretty much when I lost interest in that whole thing. Great musician. He was also the guitarist for Pantera. These two did not actually in any way coincide.
Yeah, I know. But see, that's with me.
He also did what? He also did a record with Rebel Meets Rebel with.
Yeah. Hank Williams
Hank-
III.
No,
But-
it wasn't Hank Williams. It was.
Yeah, it was.
No,
Hank
it
Williams
was.
III is on there. Yeah, he was. Trust me. If you put in Rebel Meets Rebel and Wikipedia the thing. Because Hank was the bass player, if I'm not sadly.
But it wasn't Hank.
If you're not sadly what?
Mistaken.
Oh, okay. Sorry, you stopped like mid.
David
I'm
Allen
sad.
Coe.
I was like,
No, I'm no longer
sadly
sad.
what?
David Allen Coe.
Yeah,
You forgot your cup.
and your 2 girls.
Ah!
But,
Hey, you want this? There, have it.
Hanging above my head.
you know.
Hey,
You're
I
about
had
to
to.
stick it in my eye.
No, I was actually about to stick it in your ear, but you didn't notice.
Now I'm going to
It's
have
like,
to
oh,
go,
what's that? Yeah.
I'm going to have to go check out Steve Stevens and Bolt Thrower and somebody else.
To be honest, yeah, don't even bother with Bolt Thrower unless you have any nostalgic viewpoint. Yeah, not too bad, but yeah. Billy Idol. Remember Rebel Yell and that first album, Billy Idol? Yeah, Steve Stevens was the guitarist for all that.
Yeah.
I thought genuinely one of the better guitarists for that style of music. And of course he went on to do his own glam metal stuff, which was, hate to say, kind of awesome. But
Yeah.
he didn't stop playing guitar after the glam scene died. And he actually did some guitar work for an electronic project called Juno Reactor, which
I do like Juno Reactor.
was kind of amazing. I mean, whole flamenco thing with this song Pistolero.
Oh.
But
And it's VENS?
what was that?
Steve VENS?
I
Or
think
VH?
so.
Okay. That interests me.
Yeah, no. Pistolero is an amazing song.
Anything that starts off with a sample of "I hate robbing banks."
Yeah.
Ring-a-ding-ding.
Great.
That is just fucking funny. I hate robbing banks.
Yeah, can't say I can actually form an opinion of that. I mean, yeah, it's kind of rock and roll, but I don't think I want to be quite that rock and roll.
Yeah.
Unlike the basis for Coheed and Cambria.
For what?
Oh,
The basis for
he did,
Coheed and Cambria.
he did that stupid. He was a chap of the week, wasn't he? a couple
Yeah,
weeks
he robbed a CVS pharmacy for drugs and then took the taxi back to a
He
tour
should
bus.
get the douchebag of the year award.
That's right. Wow. Yeah, no,
ago?
seriously.
Look, you just got distracted. You were like,
No,
I'm
just
gonna
agree.
leave the room, but no, now I'm pondering this.
I swear to God, I know they have they have the whole thing of, like sex offenders should be, castrated or whatever.
Euthanized.
Well, sure, yeah, but as far as like castrated, I personally think anybody who's a really stupid criminal ought to be sterilized. Let them go have their fun. Just let's not have any more of them because obviously they have traits that we don't want muddying up the gene pool.
Thin the herd. Thin the herd!
Yeah, I wrote a song about that once.
I wrote a song about it. Here you go. I absolutely had to Google that, and I found Pistolero. So now later on, I'm going to be going. Give me some more Pistolero.
I mean, it's like we talked about. You have your music to where, hey, I just want to have your feel good stuff. If you're in a rainy mood, you want to listen to your mood music.
Right.
And
And mood music for you might be would or could be different from mood music for me.
true.
Like for instance, when I was on before I discovered the other cure I was telling you about before everybody showed up. I put this Harvest by Neil Young on, and it took me back to wherever it was. I think that I first heard it, but then I noticed, being too introspective right now is not a good thing. Switch, and I put in, I don't know, the Ramones or something.
Well, it's like I know people who when they're angry they want to listen to Slayer or Metallica or Megadeth, something hard and heavy in your face. If you have Seattle weather type mood, you want to listen to something a little bit more mellow, a little bit more darker, a little bit softer. Whatever floats your boat. Then you have your music where you want, hey, it's time to party, let's dance, or let's have a get together in the backyard, But like I said, we talked about this on the phone. Is this that I get to a point where I have a complicated palette, so to speak, to where if I want to digest what I'm listening to. It's got to sound good. And not just, hey, those are catchy lyrics, or hey, that's a poppy note. The whole ensemble. It's kind of like we talked about where it's a $3 cheeseburger versus a $20 cheeseburger.
Yeah.
And most people cannot tell the difference.
Well, but the other thing of it is, when you're talking about the difference between the 3 and the 20, or when you're talking about the difference between this band and that band that you would pay different prices for, sometimes you just want to listen to something that's marginal.
Yeah.
And sometimes you want to listen to something just because, you want to be surrounded by speakers like this and go,
Now, the thing about it is your comparison for a $3 cheeseburger as opposed to a $20 cheeseburger is pretty accurate. Because, to be honest, while a lot of people will go for, the $20 cheeseburger, a lot of people don't have either the time or the energy to, shall we say, invest in the $20 cheeseburger.
Of course.
And enjoy it.
And enjoy it. Or, this part hurts, appreciate it. But, and I admit, on occasion, I'm that kind of person.
Oh, yeah, so am I. I want a $3 cheeseburger.
Time and your wallet are two things you're going to consider.
And one major thing, I'm allergic to prog. I get hives whenever I come near it. King Crimson albums have been known to cause blisters. I'd rather have something, like fast and cheesy most of the time.
Yeah.
I don't want to don't get me wrong, I love being able to think about my music, but sometimes I don't want my brain to be active, I'd rather my crotch to be active.
Exactly.
Which is why I like the Rolling Stones.
Exactly.
Well, you can actually use the analogy of the difference between lovemaking and fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I just want to fuck.
Yeah, I have to say this, I'm not a romantic. I'm just not. I can't do it, I'm sorry, and the truth is, if it's not tacky, I can't get off.
She doesn't have tassels and
Slutty and dirty.
Yeah.
Oh, are you kidding? And now,
like if it's a choice between, say, I don't know, you pick your supermodel du jour and
Scarlett Johansson.
And Scarlett Johansson or the
no.
1980s Christy Canyon. You'll pick Christy.
preferably in the back of a Firebird on cinder blocks.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I'd totally be down with that. Or her daughter.
Like I said, if I want arm candy, it's Scarlett Johansson. If I want it down and dirty, it's going to be oh God, now I can't remember her
the
name.
after
Sarah
18
Jane
Tracy
Hamilton.
Lords.
Sarah Jane Hamilton.
You had to put that addendum on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know the truth.
Yeah, the FBI's listening.
You can't listen. You can't lie to me.
But I'm one of those fans of Pink Floyd that appreciates the music sober.
Mm-hmm.
I know people are like, oh, the only time I listen to Pink Floyd is when I'm high. Fuck you, I don't want to associate with you. Go away.
I will flat out tell you right now, the very first time I ever listened to them, I was laying down in the backyard of my sister's boyfriend, stoned off my ass, and having lots of,
When Fred first tried pot, he didn't know you were just supposed to puff it. So
Yeah.
he just took one
Literally
big
hot
drag.
box the whole
And I pissed everybody at the party off because it went from that big and that big around to about that big.
My God.
And boy, was I stoned.
Yeah, actually, it's kind of funny, though. When I first got into Pink Floyd, it was the end of high school last year or so, and I was actually a very good boy. Yeah, that went...
Really, Dr. Weiss?
That went south. So
In
I got
more
into
ways than
Pink
one.
Floyd, and I was actually very interested in the musicmanship and quality of it. Again, this was before everything went south, and I started appreciating music from the crotch.
There's nothing wrong
really-
with that.
It's before or after the penicillin shot?
During.
Before. Way before. But I
He
found
still
that-
has his penis.
I actually loved The Wall, and I thought,
No.
honestly, the only scene from it I didn't
I'm
like was the
assuming.
opening. And I think that,
in the flesh.
No, the opening part down the hall with Vera Lynn, when it needs to be, the actual scene needs to be cut in half. So I would just fast forward for a couple of seconds and start from, and this was back when we used, what are they called, videotapes.
Yeah.
You remember those?
VHS and...
Yeah, that was it.
Or Betamax. The Betamax died.
I'm sorry, too old for me.
Oh!
Yeah, no, seriously, I had a friend who had Betamax. Actually, it was called Super Beta. I think that's what it was. Yeah. And at that point, I asked him if there was another version that was better, Master Beta. Not kidding, I actually pulled it off. But yeah,
What was
The
your
Wall.
what was your first Pink Floyd? The first time. What was the album you were listening to the first time you were introduced to Pink Floyd?
You mean which album?
Yeah.
Well, of course I had heard stuff on the radio and people
But that
played.
you remember.
That I remember, The Wall.
What was yours, Fred?
Oh, my cousin in Iceland introduced me to Ummagumma.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I was listening to, what is it?
Astronomy Mind.
Yeah.
Astronomy Mind.
And several furry animals grooving together in a cave, grooving with a pick.
Several species of small furry animals
That's it.
grooving together in a cave with a pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And-
think.
It's the longest song title in rock history.
Yeah.
Highly
Know that.
recommended. Do not take acid before listening to this tune.
Yeah. And
Dr. Vice's suggestion.
I will
Don't
tell
do
you,
drugs.
Before you listen to Pink Floyd.
I'm a very bad man. When I was working at this one place in the early 80s, these two kids, because I was about in my late 20s then, and they were in their, I think, they were 21, 22, and both of them, one of them says, me and so-and-so are tripping, and it was lunchtime, and so, well, actually, dinner time, because we had the evening shift, and there was a grocery store that I shall not name right across the street from the building I worked in Roslyn, Virginia.
The grocery store that shall not be named.
Yes. And nor shall the building, because I don't want to give either of them this and that. So anyway, we're going across to the grocery store, and I'm a very bad man, because I knew from an experience that someone else discussed with me, who I also won't name, that if you, when you're doing acid, if the wrong thing occurs or you have the wrong mental image in your head, you'll start having a bad one, and all kinds of ugly things end up you see this and that and the other. So
You know, pussies are like that.
yeah, indeed.
Ooh.
So we're in the grocery store, and one of them says, one of them voices concern, and I said, well, I said, you got to watch out for the blood that's now starting to fill the store. Oh my God! And they, of course, they're both freaking, and I was bad.
Yeah, first time I ever did it, actually, I was at Lollapalooza 1. And I remember staring up at the sky, and we were in the seating area
What
at
year
Walnut
was
Creek.
that?
That was 91.
Okay.
So anyway, I'm staring up at the sky, and I kind of noticed the clouds had a certain look to it, and I was like, I wonder if I can control my hallucinations. So I looked at one cloud and thought, skull. Can I make it look like a skull? And it didn't. But I kept looking, and then boom! All of a sudden I realized it had turned into a landscape of skulls across, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. Thereby proving the fact that, in fact, my mother at the age of 6 did turn me into a kind of a creepy bastard.
Putting Alice Cooper in your head?
Oh, yeah, completely. Yeah.
My first Pink Floyd experience was what you were here. Because it was released the year I was born, and we had an English assignment of things that happened in the year we were born. The album came out in '75.
Yeah. When I listened to Dark Side of the Moon, in that lovely state of wonderfulness, and I was laying down, and there was a full moon, and I was looking up at it, going, listening to it. But I've also listened to Pink Floyd totally sober and inebriated as well, and it doesn't matter what state I listen to it in, I like it. So anybody that goes, well, that's stoner music, bud, fuck you,
Punch them in
it's
the
not.
face.
Huh?
I just want to punch them in the face.
Well, I don't want to punch them in the face, they're not real bright. Because if you're going to label something without listening to it, that's ignorance.
Yeah, but a lot of people label it that way who have listened to it. And the reason is they're just either A, stoned all the time, horribly unimaginative, and probably stoned all the time. The list goes on.
Or they're fundamentalists.
They don't know what the music sounds like, though, usually.
That's why Jeff
No.
called one album of the year.
Yes, exactly. The music industry was filled with fundamentalists.
Ian Anderson went, what?
Yeah, like, why the fuck did
Just
you
we're
give me
told,
this?
just as shocked as the rest of us.
Exactly.
We won what?
Well, it's like we talked about, with stoner music. I mean, I'm literally, it confused me a little bit because what's the song Yellow Submarine? What's the album?
Is that?
Is that Sgt. Pepper?
You may have to Google that. I don't know the Beatles.
That song by itself, let alone the album, is just nothing but laced with drugs.
Yes, but so are the Beatles.
Exactly. You look at Minstrel in the Gallery from Jethro Tull. I'm just listening to that album going, they were high. That's the only explanation for this album.
Yeah,
They
the
were
explanation
high.
of that album actually is marijuana. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That is called way too much marijuana. Did somebody stuff a joint in the end of Ian Anderson's flute? I mean, seriously, folks. Don't get me wrong, I like Tull myself, but, select albums. A big Broadsword and the Beast fan, but that was when, obviously, they weren't doing drugs anymore because they had caught a really bad case of the old. But,
the album came out, what,
80?
89,
81?
90?
Which one?
Broadsword?
Oh, no, I think it came out, 81, 82, maybe 83, but something like
Broadsword, what year did it come out?
I don't know, but you had to introduce me to later Tull because after about 77,
Yeah, I introduced him
I
to
went
Rock
stage
Island,
that way.
Preston Age.
Yeah,
and
it was after A. I know.
I did.
What album was Yellow Submarine off of?
Yellow Submarine.
That's it.
No, Help.
Mm.
Sorry.
The Broadsword and the Beast was
They
released
were
in
asking
82.
about it.
82,
earlier.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I figured
Broadsword and
if
Beast.
anybody
You
knew,
know,
Yeah.
it was like Tull, but concise. So
What?
it totally had my interest.
We were talking about how there's certain albums that came out that you could just tell they were fucking high.
Yeah.
Oh.
The
Yeah.
Beatles with Yellow Submarine, Jethro Tull's Minstrel in the Gallery.
Yeah,
But
when
you
it
know,
starts meandering, yeah.
I liked Minstrel of the Gallery just because I like the entire song, not just the one the part they play on the radio, because it's like, oh, hello, Biff. Oh, thank you. Let's go have a seat. Oh, bling.
Yeah,
it
but
was just weird.
I like Denegata DeVita more, and let's face it, it's the same sort of thing. You know? I mean, if you're going to
That
have a
song
long,
was because of drugs.
if you want a long drug song, just go ahead and choose your one. Because
That'll work,
yeah, I'll take Denegata DeVita twice. Thanks.
except for the drum stuff.
Oh God, point taken. I'll take Denegata DeVita, and can we fast forward past that drum solo?
Sure, it's the single version.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, seriously.
But seriously, that was a brilliant
Seriously,
idea.
folks.
Lock the musicians in the studio with too many drugs because they don't have any ideas.
Well, that explains
You end up with product.
that
Well,
explains a lot
it's
of
like
Motley
magic.
Crue stuff.
It's like magic.
Yeah, but
Explains a lot of
wrong
what?
product.
Explain a
Well,
lot
what
about-
did Dennis Leary say? You put Motley Crue in a room, locked in a room with 2 tons of crack or cocaine, and they come out an hour and a half later talking about Rock On. They're gonna make a double out of it.
But yeah,
Nikki Sixx will not die
Thank
And-
God.
ever.
who? What will not die? Oh, Nick.
Nikki Sixx.
No, Mick Mars, however, he's on the way.
Oh, that's health reasons because
Oh, yeah, totally.
degenerative disease.
Yeah.
I mean, when they found him to get reunited, I mean, he was almost gone.
I mean, he's in bad shape, but Tommy Lee, he's probably going to buy it from some complication involving the
Herpes
hepatitis.
simplex C.
Yeah.
Yeah, that man is going to end up with a herpes complex. But
I've got herpes. I got a complex. Oh, for Christ's sake.
and then Vince, let's face it, the only thing he's got going for him is the fact, no, there's nothing.
No, he's gonna die like Elvis, overweight.
Yeah, exactly. What did I say? He's got nothing going for him. Basically, you have a band, they're the worst example of a rock band. They're a band that the rhythm section pulls more chicks than the lead.
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, for the rhythm section, you got Tommy Lee and Nikki Sixx, both of whom will probably never die of normal causes, and look great. I mean, they had a contest to see which one of them could still score with chicks before without having showered. They'd gone over a month,
And Tommy was probably still sporting the jockstrap.
and both of them were still scoring. Yeah. So you got Nikki and Tommy. Then you got Mick and Vince. The ancient Chinese sorcerer and the alcoholic porn star. They got nothing. I knew this guy who had a friend who knew Vince Neil. He said, "Yeah, Vince calls me all the time. It's a pain in the ass because he never has money and he wants to crash on the couch.
Oh.
I don't want that."
Yeah, no, and you know, I think Grace Slick had an awesome idea, which is her thing was, when I get to 40, I don't want to do this anymore because you look like a caricature of yourself, or you know, a cartoon getting up when you're that old, and in her case, singing the kind of stuff that Jefferson Airplane did, she didn't want to do it anymore, so she left, and she stayed gone.
Yeah.
But there are people who go, yeah, we're going to quit, we're done, and then a few years later, yeah, we need the money, we're back.
Oh, the Who?
Yes, but you know what they needed the money for?
Fleetwood Mac.
More drugs.
No, well, what they needed the money for, Entwistle, who died with the hookers and blow in his hotel room,
Man, it's God to me.
yeah, but he kept
Got a little shrine for him in the back.
kept nearing bankruptcy and losing his house because of it. And they would enable him by going, okay, we've got to rescue poor Johnny because he's about to go bankrupt, so let's go on tour so he can have some money to pay off his debts. And of course, what does he do? He fucking goes out and cokes up again. And so that was their last, I don't know how, I think from like Live Aid forward, every time they went out, it wasn't because they wanted to be together, it was because they were trying to rescue his stupid ass.
Yeah, but he was the perfect excuse for them to go out and do it again so they could get more cash and behave
He was
like
already doing shit
children.
with Cozy Powell and Glenn Tipton.
Huh?
He was already doing shit with Cozy Powell and Glenn Tipton.
Yeah, now I wonder about those two.
John
After they-
Entwistle doing heavy metal.
Who
It
did
was
the
awesome.
album Hookers and Blood? It was one of the guys in Guns N' Roses. Izzy or
I
somebody
think
did
it was-
this album called
I think it
Hookers
was
and Blood.
Izzy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hooker.
That's pretty awesome.
I think, yeah. Now, if you're speaking of rock, it's all about sex and drugs
Mm-hmm.
and making music with your buddies.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
I am completely
I
of
don't
the
care
opinion
that's what
though.
it is, but it can get fucking boring. I'm sorry. If that's all you do,
Yeah.
it's fucking boring.
Right.
Yeah, but when
Maybe
you-
I
I'm
don't
just
know.
a cunt and I just want something with a little more substance, but
I don't.
and not
I mean, if sex,
hallucinogenic substance.
you know, if-
I mean, like actual like.
infidel.
if sex is boring, you're not.
I mean, it's
doing,
just like
you're not doing
art.
it right.
I mean, you can
Mhm.
make the same argument about visual art, but a lot of people want something more than just
Oh yeah.
Now, see,
the
I don't-
typical.
I
Just
don't-
because it was created off of that doesn't mean
Right.
that it has to continue to be that.
Okay,
That's
Giselle.
just
Well,
my
that's true.
I-
and,
my personal opinion.
and there's stuff that I listen to that has nothing to do with sex.
I mean, and I don't think that it should go away. I don't think that that bands should not make music about hookers and blow or whatever.
Right.
See,
But it's just
find
for
that
me
fucking
personally,
hysterical.
what I'm drawn to is something that's different.
well, here's
Well,
the
yeah.
thing. I personally believe that you're right. Music should have a certain degree of substance, and I love substance in my music, especially when it's being disguised as songs about hookers and blood. I'm
you know
not
what?
kidding.
My point was, it shouldn't hookers and blow should not be a requirement for a rock song.
Let me
That's all I'm
let me
saying.
just.
No, no, no.
I'm
it
not
should be
saying
a
don't
re-
make
no, no.
songs about
Here's my
hookers
thing.
and blow. I'm
It
just
shouldn't be
saying
a requirement
every
for-
song shouldn't be about sex and orgies.
Oh no, but it shouldn't be a requirement for a song. It should be a requirement for the artist.
Yeah.
In other words,
I still
part
have
of
to
your job
disagree.
description is hookers and blow.
Yeah,
I
in
still
some
disagree.
way, shape, or form.
Now,
it
I
has
will
to
say-
involve
I mean,
certain
that's like-
degrees
I
of
will
excess,
say
or you're going to
about-
be a nerd.
About Dr.
But you know
Bugs.
we do to
But
nerds.
I mean, but that's like
We paint little
telling all
miniatures
visual
with the
artists
basement.
that you have to be poor and live in a box. I mean,
Right,
it's not.
No, but I mean.
I don't.
I have no idea
I
what
don't
you're talking
agree.
about.
Yeah,
when
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
40K.
So,
So,
but there's an aspect of that music today that's about hookers and blow.
And
There's
there's
also
always going to be rock and roll music. that's
right,
gonna be
and
about
there's
people,
also
no matter what
aspects of it
century
that are
is.
about crying because you don't have any money and your parents, you want to kill them. And
Okay,
emo.
we're not. Yeah, no, don't even bring emo. Emo's not even allowed to be brought up.
I'll put it to you this way.
It makes me.
I
puke.
would love to hear, I kind of side with Dr. Weiss, I would love to hear a song
The hookers and blow.
about hookers and blow that's actually meaningful. Has substance. That whether it's I enjoy it or it's a regret song. I want to hear I want to hear a song that when I'm listening to it going,
Make me cry.
damn.
Hookers and blow.
challenge accepted. I'll
Yeah,
have to go
radio
home and write
listening
that.
Yes. Do it.
In radio listening land, if you ever hear this, and you know of a song that meets that criteria, Please let us know.
Yes, at
Send us email.
www.bdrrocksonline.com.
And please do not make it hip hop.
What is
What
it?
we need,
BDR
hookers and
info
blood.
I don't
at
care what you make it, as long as you
What's
send
the
it.
email address? bdrinfo@bdrrocksonline.com.
That's correct.
Making
Okay.
sure.
And I can tell one thing about Dr. Weiss right now. The more when he gets really a serious, intent look on his face,
He's
a
thinking
line
dirty
of
thoughts.
total fun and hilariousness is about to
Yeah,
exit.
yeah, he's got a face twitch that happens when he's really thinking of something.
Because he'll look at you like that now
Well, I get
and
a face
get
switch
this
for something
totally
noisy.
serious look on his face and then just blow you away. And I think that's fucking hysterical.
Well, I kind of
Yeah,
love
you're
the
a blower,
idea.
aren't you?
Huh?
With
You're a
hookers.
blower.
Well, you know,
With hookers.
been a while.
Ah!
You didn't say
You got some?
negotiation over millions. His lips were made for making money.
It's one of those things. I am totally willing to sell out. The problem is nobody's buying.
The economy these days just suck.
I know. So I can't.
Exactly.
It's terrible. Yeah, I'm being forced down an honest path due to economics.
You can't really afford any. Yeah, you can't really afford hookers if you can't make any money. And then
I
there
want
goes the
that
whole
on a
blow
shirt
thing.
too.
And you can't get any hookers to blow you. I think I've used the word blow and hookers in various ways.
Great, so now you've given me an idea for a G-string, you know? You're a freebie, the economy sucks. You know that?
You're what? You're a freebie? The
Or on a
economy-
G-string, the economy sucks, so you're a freebie.
I still like my
I was
idea,
offered a
which
freebie
is
by an
only
80-year-old
skilled
once, but I
applicants
didn't
need
accept
apply.
Skilled applicants.
Was he that ugly?
And that and Batcave? Was it Batcave?
Batcave.
Batcave.
Saw a picture of, you know, it looked like somebody in
That
a
was
Batman suit with a microphone that said underneath it, na 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 me.
You know what he had on
Nice.
his Batman underoos?
Hey, I had Boba Fett underoos.
Ooh.
True.
Really? You got
True.
nothing for that hand looking? Not even a, hey
It's
buddy, I had them as well.
I was poor.
So you just have the tattoo.
I developed my Boba fetish when I was a teenager.
See, the other thing about it is, how old were you when Empire Strikes Back came out?
Empire came out in 1980. I was 5.
5. Okay. Hmm.
You have
Yeah.
that disturbed look on your face.
The force is not strong with this.
I was 24.
No, I think he's thinking of how old he was at that age. And
We're not
He's
gonna
only,
talk-
he's only 4 years older.
Yeah, I was
So you
like
were
9. Yeah, I was 9 when it came out. I remember
So
being,
both of us have seen all 3 Star Wars films in theater
Yeah.
when they were originally released.
I saw it when I was
I haven't
6
seen it on VHS. Fuck you.
in '76 when Star Wars came out. Yeah, I was there. All
Yeah,
10
I was there.
Yeah, I was there all 10 times. Because there, you know, when you're that age, you're not bright. So
When you get into your 30s, you realize George Lucas is just an ass.
yes, actually,
And it's a love-hate relationship because I still collect.
I have
Yeah.
a friend who refers to him as fat bastard. I used to work with this guy. He'd come
That's
into
a
work.
line, you
He'd
know.
come into work and go, by the way, you know what fat bastard did? What? And I knew it was going to be something about him, you know, messing up the prequels in some way, shape, or form.
I was gonna say I was cool with him with even through the prequels. It was when he started re-releasing and touching it.
He touched it again with the Blu-ray. He took out the puppet Yoda
He
and
touched
it
did the
again.
CGI Yoda for the Blu-ray release.
I'm
He's
like,
got
grief,
that's
man has
not
no
why.
balls.
That's not why people love the movie.
Yeah, he's gone
They
ahead.
love what it was when you released it the first time.
You know what?
Quit touching it.
Okay, here's the messed up part. Okay, well, yes, he's done all this stuff to be able to change around this, modify this, and make the Death Star blow up with a big ring going in a strange angle. Yeah, that's all great.
With the lens flare.
With a lens flare. Everybody loves lens flare. Oh, wow. But yeah, so, he does all this, yet that scene with the Rancor and Luke still looks like shitty blue screen.
What's really messed up is if you go back and you look at the original Star Wars and Luke lands the X-Wing fighter after blowing up the Death Star and he gets out, you hear Carrie Fisher go Luke and he replies Leia.
Yeah.
Or he replies Carrie.
Carrie.
In all 3 versions.
Yes. Does he fix any of the things that need
No.
fixing? No!
If
Instead,
you-
what does he do? Throws in a CGI of Jabba the Hutt to mask over some Scottish dude in furs.
If you look at the Return of the Jedi and you see the base that they're supposed to blow up, You see the radio antenna. If you look down at the bottom where the AT-AT is walking past, you see the base pillars that it's standing on. It's 2 Dixie cups colored in gray. You can still see the word Dixie upside down.
Awesome. Brilliant. So he can't fix that yet. Han's now shooting, or Greedo's now shooting his laser at Han's, foot? Or is he just firing for a waitress? I mean, come on. How do you get service in that place? Shoot somebody. How about him? Phew. Scotch on the rocks.
I mean, I understand his whole process with the first one with the special edition. I understand because he said you never complete a film. It's never perfect the first time you release it. So when he went back and fixed it, I was good with it. Fine. Because you didn't have the technology back in '77. Fine. Then he touched it again. Then he touched it again. And
I mean, the movies are screaming, I need an adult, and nobody's helping them.
Yeah. Plus,
can you even get the original
when
version
Kirshner
now?
died,
Well, that's my main question. If I was to purchase the DVD, stop it, real quick. If I'm to purchase the DVD of the original Star Wars films or the original Indiana Jones films, new, not used, new, brand new, like they're actually printing it nowadays.
On the shelves.
Can you even purchase the original version?
Yes.
Question.
Not new, but yes.
My question was new.
No. Not unless you found a collector who bought it and never opened it, and you're going to pay a hefty price for it.
Now,
that's what I gotta say. Go fuck yourself.
Okay.
It's one thing to mess with it. It's one thing to update it if you, the artist, feels like I need to touch it, even if it's molestation.
I need to touch it.
If you don't even, like, you can't pretend that the other version didn't exist.
Right.
I do have a friend.
Well,
if you want to see
ZZ
Star
Top
Wars in its
syndrome.
original format, it's glorified digitization. It was released on Laserdisc.
Yes, THX. The THX version is phenomenal.
And I have a friend of mine who has
fantastic.
Unfortunately, there's no such thing as Laserdisc players anymore.
Yeah, there are.
I
You
actually
can
have
find
a friend. I used to actually own the Laserdiscs of the THX re-releases, which were brilliant. But I knew a guy who ended up getting the THX re-releases transferred to DVD.
Ooh.
And then came
I mean, look, I'm just saying,
I
I would probably be more into the Star Wars franchise if
it
there
weren't for
wasn't
that.
all this douchebaggery about him having to molest the movies and not even allow you to get the original version.
I enjoy the Clone Wars a lot more than I ever did with the prequels.
See,
I will every Friday night. I watch the Clone Wars.
I want to give it a shot
the Clone
because I'm
Wars,
just
right.
like douche.
Yeah.
Douchebaggery.
Yeah, but that's because
And
the
that's why I'm
prequels
having
weren't
problems.
that bad.
That's why I'm having problems now, like staying involved with like the Indiana Jones series. Like, stop touching it. Leave it alone. Crystal Skull. What the fuck was that?
What? There was a series?
There's 4 films.
No. There's only one.
Well, true. There's only one.
Yeah.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, I never heard a thing about the other ones.
But no, I don't think it's the
Here's
same
something
issue where you can't even get the original versions
Here's
anymore.
something interesting though that I'm waiting for.
Indeed.
I'm waiting for this.
Yeah.
Originally, the vision was 9 films. He had scripts written for 9 films. At the time, he didn't have the technology to produce the way he wanted to do it. He sold episodes 7, 8, and 9 to Spielberg. I'm waiting for Spielberg to make these films.
Here's the thing, though. It's actually not scripts
Too
he
much
had.
douche.
It was outlines.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Spielberg makes wonderful movies. He did one film I didn't care for, and that was Batteries Not Included. Everything else he's done was gold. Ridley Scott, same thing. Everybody talks about nerds. Everybody talks about being nerds, and I got fuck yous to those fantasy football assholes. That's just a different. That's a sports nerd. My fantasy film is Ridley Scott, Steven Spielberg, and oh shit, he did the Lord of the Rings films.
Peter Jackson.
You get those 3 guys together, and that would be an epic film.
Dude, Peter
I don't
Jackson.
think there'd be enough room for the egos.
No, seriously.
No, I'm
Peter
serious.
Jackson.
One of those huge Hollywood, like, you know, where they, like the big warehouses where they set up, make the sets and everything. I don't even think 3 of those could fill the ego that would be by getting those 3 directors.
Well, if you went ahead and
Just
threw
saying.
Guillermo del Toro in it, you wouldn't be able to fit all of them physically in the same place.
But the script has to be written by
But I have to
Tarantino.
say, Del Toro, isn't he responsible for starting to shy away from using so much CGI in his films?
It depends.
Like he started to reintroduce costumes and
Well, it all
puppetry.
depends on what he wants to do. If he wants to make a blockbuster, the amount of CGI and costuming, evens out. But if he wants to molest me, generally he just does it with that with the Spanish-speaking move. What's that one?
Pan.
Pan's Labyrinth.
Which
yeah,
is
yeah.
actually the Labyrinth of the Fawn if you actually translate the title
If
correctly.
you want to talk about CGI nuttery, go look at James Cameron.
Oh man.
Avatar.
Oh.
I was watching it going, this is Oscar worthy?
Well, the thing was, I knew Cameron was going places since what was that
Titanic?
movie? Piranha 2: The Spawning. Yeah, that one was awesome.
Piranha 2, The Spawning.
Are you
James
kidding?
Cameron is a wonderful filmmaker, but he stopped dabbling in CGI.
Yeah, before he was actually the special effects coordinator for Roger Corman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know how he got his famous job? There's a scene there where there's supposed to be these maggots on the severed arm, and the maggots weren't moving. And so he was the special effects prop. He said, hold on, I got an idea. What he did is he took a metal prong in the hand that you couldn't see from the floor, stuck another one through the part where it was severed, and then he hit it and then ran electrical current through it and got the maggots to squirm. That's how he became famous.
Yep.
Who was this?
Oh, wait,
James
don't-
Cameron.
Don't forget Battle
I
Beyond the
got
Stars,
struck by
where
these, 'cause-
he made a spaceship with tits.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's notorious for making a spaceship with tits. They were pretty good tits too.
He is a magical filmmaker. I just wish he would leave the CGI as 90% of your film alone. I'm all about eye candy. I want to see the live-action version of Space Battleship Yamato that was released in theaters last year because I was a big fan of the cartoon.
Yeah.
I want to see it, and I'm looking at the trailer going, oh.
Geek!
I agree. I agree that
Geek!
Did I strike a nerve?
Geek!
Weeaboo!
My first introduction to anime was Star Wars Space Battleship.
Yeah.
Nipples!
I came a little. Okay, I was Speed Racer. Yeah.
By the
But
way,
no, I mean, I'm all about eye candy too, but I have to agree, CGI, too much CGI ruins a film. And especially when you can't even do it right, like you can't get the lighting right.
Which
Well,
is
you
one.
Go fuck yourself.
Which is
You
why
just
I
ruined
love
it.
Kingdom of Heaven,
Yes.
the director's cut.
if you
I got-
want to
yeah,
look at
no, they did
bad
it right.
Wonderful
CGI,
film.
Titanic.
Titanic was a wonderful film.
The CGI sucked.
The CGI
Oh,
sucked,
agreed.
but if you were
Yeah,
watching
you're
it in the
right.
big screen,
I got so
it's
bored.
one of my
watching Titanic.
favorite scenes in The Matrix 2 was the fight scene with the Thousand Smiths. In the theater, it looked awesome. On DVD, I'm like, wow, that just looks so fucking
In
fake.
the theater, I was
So-
bored within 10 seconds.
Oh, but what that
Well, it was
whole
a bunch of
park scene
Smiths.
just made up for it. But with Titanic, the CGI wasn't that bad on the big screen.
No,
Because you're not
actually,
watching a digital version.
That's where I looked at it and went, holy shit, those are computer people.
I saw Titanic 4 times in theaters.
Sorry, I'm a big fan as far as the whole CGI thing, the proper use of CGI
Exactly.
in addition to 3D.
Mm-hmm.
Tron Legacy.
I
Tron
was just
Legacy
about to
was
bring
a
that.
baller
I was
film.
just about to bring
Brilliant.
that up. I was like, I gotta say, the Tron reboot was done very well. I have to admit.
I'll have to go see that.
It was amazing. I personally have come to the opinion, there are a lot of people who say, oh, it wasn't good enough. And I'm like, did you see the original?
The original
It
was
was terrible.
The original was groundbreaking as far as the special effects were concerned from 1982.
Yes, groundbreaking special effects and a plot that was sort of dippy. I mean, when it really comes down to it, it was a little dumb. And it was a kid's movie. This one, also a kid's movie. Not as dippy. Better special effects. Better acting. Thank you very much. Much better acting. Hot chicks. Okay.
I was waiting for that. I
and,
was like, he's
Hot
gonna
chicks
get
in
to the
skin-tight
tits.
suits.
Hot chicks in skin-tight suits. And my last comment regarding it, if anybody disagrees with me, I am perfectly willing to urinate on their leg.
That's
my
if I had
stance.
$50,000, I'd buy one of the bikes.
Wow, you can get one of the bikes for 50 grand.
50 grand.
If I had that much, I'd
Does it
probably
play
try to go
Daft
for one of
Punk?
the actresses for a night.
Ooh. Should we take a pause? Because
Sure, let's
we
take
did
a
a
break.
really long recording session.
Sure.
Because I just didn't I didn't want to stop it. We were doing well, and I figured you could cut it. So,
And we'll be back!
so
Yeah.
don't go anywhere, cunts. All right, and we're back.
That's right, we're back, and we're going to be signing off with a special.
Well, should we talk for a couple minutes? So
Sure.
it's not a
Oh,
complete
absolutely.
ship. I mean,
Oh, okay.
For what? It's the consumer public. Oh, wait, no, it's free.
Yeah.
You're screwed.
Well, it must be the best thing in life because those are free.
Hookers and blow are not.
Hookers and Blow, by the way, was Dizzy Reed's band.
Oh, Dizzy Reed, right. And as far as
It's a cover band.
as far as hookers and blow, L.A. Bubble Booty, that is Super Bubble Booty, whatever her name is. That's all I'm fucking saying. That is the hottest, biggest ass hooker I've ever seen.
Oh my.
Wow.
Yep.
Own zip code kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Hot air, we have released, sandbags have dropped kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I am not joking. Nay, friend.
I shall not suffer such indignities.
Yeah. That's right. And if you doubt what I'm telling you, I was showing this work buddy of mine this thing yesterday.
Oh, look at him hold it like it's the Precious from Lord of the Rings.
Oh my God.
He
You
just
see what I'm
turned it
talking
into
about?
Wow.
She's got her own website too.
I am so there.
Okay, let me see
You know
this
who
ass.
that is?
No, I don't. I
You've
do
seen
not know
it.
who this is.
Hot
Holy
with
Christ.
butt.
That is an ass palooza going on right there. And then there's that one. That's
Oh yeah.
You've seen her.
I have seen this one.
I'd like to.
Yeah. I'd like to see more of that.
More of dat ass.
See, now that's a camera phone shot, so you can tell what she really looks like. But she's so slender waisted.
She's
Oh
got-
my God.
She's got an itty bitty waist.
It just goes boom, bam!
In your face.
Oh
In
my
your face.
God, I need an ice cream scoop. And an all-day pass.
It'd take you a while to get around to all of it, don't you think?
Oh my God, my girlfriend would so understand. I'll just bring back a live feed.
Indeed. Just say you got
I bet
lost
she'd
in
be
the
mad
ass.
she wasn't there with you.
Yeah, that's why I'd have to bring back the live feed.
Just tell her you got lost in the ass and you had no idea what time it was because you couldn't see the clock.
I swear there was no cell phone reception.
Not up there wasn't.
Oh my.
Yeah!
Dr.
No.
Weiss just went to a happy place.
Yeah.
My happy place.
Or a sexually deviant place. I mean, one of the two. They're kind of the same, aren't they?
Happy place.
You know, Malou once gave me a happy feeling in my special place.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm a little kind of, pent up, as it were. I haven't had,
Banging sex.
well, no, actually, I was thinking group sex in, weeks. So...
Well, that was
Nah,
the '80s for me, so you know.
man. Actually, no, seriously, it was the, hold on. Ooh. No, it was last decade. Barely. Yep.
See,
Yep. Last experience I had with that, I remember I had made this decision not to do cocaine unless it was off a stripper's tits. Then I had to pare it down to unless a stripper was feeding it to me. And then the next thing I know, I come home and the party is still going on like it had been for the last 6 months. And, oh, hey, there was a stripper with coke there. My girlfriend and I broke up a week later. Ah, the salad days.
yeah, tossing.
Every single week.
Yes, yea, though verily.
Yeah, I wish I could remember most of it.
Low
That was pretty bad. I ended up
That's-
having to develop a habit for vodka. I used to drink High Life all the time, but I had to be able to get into the freezer, which is where the vodka was, because the fridge was being obstructed by the lesbian group sex in my kitchen.
I just said, fuck the vodka. I'm just going to sit here for a while.
That works for the first week.
Oh,
After that, you get tired of it.
Were you hanging out with the
I
suicide
can't
dogs?
imagine getting tired of two chicks making out in front of you all day long.
They were doing a lot more than that. There was a chain of it. It was really,
Damn.
yeah.
The real human centipede.
You're telling me. I mean, at first it was
I'll
awesome.
be the caboose.
At first it's awesome, but let me tell you, after a week you get kind of sick of pop-off.
No, that Russian dude?
Wait, that was Trotsky.
Oh. Well,
Oh,
sometimes
Molotov!
you get the Trotsky from bad food. But...
You know, the Trotsky was the next morning.
Oh.
High Life never did that to me. Couldn't even get to the High Life. I'd buy it, put it in the fridge. When could I get to it? The next morning. After Trotsky had had a go at me. Which is probably why I needed to have more than in the evening. But then I'd get home and then would start up the group sex in the kitchen again.
Damn. Why couldn't they wait to get back to the sack?
Why couldn't they do it in the hallway?
Yes! Not in front of the fucking front.
Then I could be enjoying the lesbian group sex with a cold beer in my hand.
And some food from the fridge. No wonder you're so slim there, young man.
Dude, there was no food in that fridge.
Oh.
Yeah, we ate speed.
No.
You know, it was a good day. I remember at one point somebody had brought in some of the greatest acid I have ever seen in my life. When it got printed up in 9x11 sheets, we knew something was up. 99 hits instead of, 100. So anyway, we get this stuff. It's a bit more expensive than usual. We can't find anything else, so we've got a bunch of them in the fridge. I come home finding out my girlfriend had purchased 5 sheets, and I'm like, so we're going to try it out. I walk in and see my roommate pacing up and down in the hallway. All the party lights are on, and everybody's looking nervous. So he's pacing back and forth in the hallway and dipping into his room every few moments, strangely enough. And my girlfriend just sort of skitters over to me, grabs my hand, and sort of pulls me into the kitchen towards the fridge. And I'm like, so you got it? She's like, "Boo." I'm like, can I try it? She pulls it out of the fridge, hands it to me, hands me some scissors. I take a look at it. It's gel tab. Okay, this will work. How many can I have? And she looks at me and goes, I don't care. And I'm like, okay. That's when I noticed my 250-pound best friend sitting on the stove. Thankfully, it was off, but I don't know if he would have noticed. And I go, Ed, how many should I have? And he goes, take 4. 4, huh? Okay, I'll take 4. Apparently, everybody did a lot of this stuff. We're going to find it. Ed, why did I do 4? And it goes, because I did 6. I think I did too much. Yeah, not good. At which point I then experienced visuals that I had never seen before, including a wall and a shelving unit explode at me and stop. I crumpled to
Fuck the Matrix!
I ended up crumpling to the floor from the body buzz alone, gripping a glass coffee table, looking at my fingers curled around the top of it for all life and reality, until I heard, if anybody wants speed, they have to get to the kitchen now. Amazingly enough, I was in the kitchen before anyone else. The salad days.
Yes. You've tossed them.
Ooh! Oh.
He might for $1 million
But
today.
yes, but and
Hey, 50,000. Sure, whatever.
I remember being told by
That's just my
people
hand.
who will not be named that I shouldn't do that sort of stuff because I was wacky enough already, and so I've never experienced that. But I'll bet it would be, especially under controlled circumstances. I think it'd be a lot more interesting for me anyway, because then if it could somehow or other be controlled so that I wouldn't sit there and go, "Ah, whatever's melting," or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, you need to have babysitters on hand. I mean, I haven't done this since seriously, about 2001 was about the last time I really had a significant experience. But if you want to try something really unusual, and I don't recommend it, Robitussin, that'll, yeah.
Actually, now that you mention that, and I unfortunately can't say who this is either, but he knows who I'm talking about because the party at the house, the
You
one
come up
that
with
was
a pet name.
behaving wired,
Like Mr. Squiggles.
Mr. Squiggles. Oh, okay, Mr. Squiggles. He was big on
Mr. Squiggles was impressed about how much I knew about Kiss and Van Halen.
Yeah,
I don't know
and
who Mr. Squiggles
he was
is.
heavily
You have to
into
explain
cough
it.
syrup and something else, and his irises were like pinpricks. And he started drinking at like 11 o'clock in the morning, and which was not uncommon for me back then. But
Alcohol.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But
Did that the other day.
but then all of a sudden, and I never saw anybody have their pupils smaller from drinking alcohol. So I was like, what the fuck is this dude doing? And he was behaving all kinds of odd, and so that was the last time he came over for a party. But I
know a story of someone who was supposed to have been a birthday party for this person, and this person had to work late and missed the first half of it. So the friends that were throwing the party started without her. And when she came to the house, everybody was wasted, and she found a bunch of people sitting around who had been tripping on acid, and she was vindictive. She went and got one of those big Tupperware bowls, filled it to the rim with water, put it in the middle of the coffee table, and grabbed all their attention while they're tripping on LSD. And she says, hey, check it out. Watch the bowl. So look at this bowl filled with water. And she thumped it. To which they proceeded to freak the fuck out, thinking, we're going to drown! And shit. I'm like, you're evil.
Oh, that's newbies.
That's actually pretty awesome.
That's totally
great.
first year stuff.
Yeah.
Now, I had a relative who was a cop, who knew every cop in the 5 surrounding counties, so I am the only one in this room that has never done anything outside alcohol.
No,
I was
I'm
afraid
the
of
same
getting,
way.
I was afraid of getting busted.
You haven't
No,
smoked pot?
Well,
Lots.
Oh, that's not.
not really.
I only
think
bought
that's-
2 ounces in my
I
entire
thought
The
we were
only
talking
pot-
about actual drugs.
The
like
only pot
cocaine,
that I've ever done was
LSD,
contact buzz
acid,
at
whatever.
concerts. And because I've gotten older and I've started a family, I get angry when I go to a concert and I smell it because I'm like, you never know when they're going to do a pop test the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't eat poppy seed bagels
Actually,
for the same reason.
from what I've heard, you can't actually blow positive from a contact.
You never know. I've
You
seen
never-
weird
yeah.
shit.
True.
But you'll pop positive if eating a poppy seed bagel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for heroin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I don't even eat them.
Yeah.
Because you never know.
I actually do
Well-
not approve of marijuana at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't like it. I find it dyseuphoric. I've smoked it very few times in my life compared to all of my peers, and I kind of find it gross, freaky, and it turns me into George Lucas. I turn
You just
into,
molest Star
Well, I
Wars?
find-
no, I sit on the couch and act like a smug dick.
Well, I find also that what happened with me back in the old days, as it were, when I would do so, you would get in a really terrific discussion with a bunch of people sitting around like this, like we are, and having all these awesome back and forths, and then when you get to a certain point, you're like, and the solution for world peace, I'm telling you right now, is
Pizza.
and there's this huge uncomfortable silence because all you can do is go, and that's why I was like, you know what, fuck this.
Yeah.
I've actually been made fun of because
So
I
have I.
haven't experimented.
So
And then people think that I'm like a narc or something, and I'm like,
Dude,
you're
I'm
a
telling you,
fucking idiot.
there's
Like,
exactly-
no, I just don't. It doesn't appeal to me.
You really have no reason to experiment whatsoever. I've got all the stories you ever need.
Exactly.
Mhm.
I
Well,
think.
as far as
I'm your
pot-
anti-drug.
Oh, by the way,
as far as pot's concerned, it's kind of like alcohol to me. As far as what it does to the body, it mellows you out. Slows you
Yeah.
down. I don't have a problem.
Moderation.
Illegally, it's against the law. However, if you're going to break the law and you're going to do it, fine. Do it in your home.
Yeah.
Do not get behind the wheel.
Right.
Get your
Yeah.
fucking munchies before you get your pot.
Exactly.
Right.
That's just being smart.
And that's being
And-
smart
I
about
mean,
it. You know, whenever I go out.
it's the same thing with drinking.
Yeah.
Too. I mean, like, if you know that you're going to need to eat while you're drinking or after you're done drinking or when you wake up the next morning because you have a hangover, buy the shit beforehand. Don't get behind the wheel of a fucking car.
And whenever I pop open a beer, before I pop open the beer, I surrender my keys.
Yep.
Even if I'm only going to have one beer.
Yeah.
But the best way to maintain a decent buzz and to avoid a hangover is that you eat something with bread while you drink.
Yeah.
Because the bread will soak up the alcohol before your blood system does.
Mhm.
And before you go to bed, drink 16 ounces of water.
Yeah, it's not
Because
hard.
alcohol dehydrates you. That's what the hangover is.
Yep.
But people wake up like, oh my god. I mean, I've had my Satan pizza alcohol experience. I've had it once. We were eating pizza, drinking alcohol, Jack Daniels, eating nothing but Supreme pizzas, and I was selling cars an hour later.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Farfig Nugans and Fords all into the toilet. You know, so I did it once.
Oh, that was the. Okay,
Puking.
that was a euphemism for puking. I thought
Exactly.
you literally were
Those are the
trying to
sounds
sell
you were
cars.
making when you're praying to the portion of God.
Oh, you want to hear an?
I literally thought you were outside trying to sell neighbors' cars to strangers. Like, that's
Oh,
what
no.
I thought you were.
I remember one time I got so drunk, and I feel bad about it now, being 36 years old and looking back on it now, but I did my underage drinking at 16. I was drunk and urinated in 4 consecutive mailboxes.
No. Was there
pissed in
mail
beer.
in them?
One
I pissed
had
in-
packages in it.
I've pissed in beer
No.
bottles on a bridge over the Mississippi River before because you can't really get out and go, yeah, I had to take a piss because I'm really drunk. Can I get back in my car now? Yeah.
Right.
So you just kind of go, oh, goody.
I've had 2 blackouts. One resulted in me clearing out $3,000 in my bank account. I have no idea what it means. I have no
Oh, and you want to hear the
Wow.
I didn't even keep the receipts. I have no idea what happened to them.
You want to
This
hear
is before you
the?
can check your
Right.
account online.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Oh
bad
my
concert
God.
experiences, this was in St. Louis in '77, and I went to see it was Nazareth, and this forgettable group called Head East was opening for them. And so I'm trashed as can be, and waiting for them to open it because it was festival seating, as they called it back then, where you just run in and get your first spot. So I'm waiting, and they open the doors, and I'm shit-faced as I can be, and I'm like, all right, let's go. Boom!
Oh.
Fell knees
Ooh.
first into someone else's vomit.
Oh.
You want to know how
vomit?
big of a Pink Floyd fan I am?
Mm.
When I went to go see
No,
the
not mine.
Division Bell
No,
tour,
did you vomit afterwards?
when I went to the Division Bell tour
Drunk.
here in Raleigh,
Yeah.
I had 2 tickets. I paid $125 for each ticket, and I went alone. Because the girlfriend I was seeing at the time broke up with me 3 weeks before the show, and I'd already purchased the ticket. I gave my ticket away. So I went to the show. The person I gave the ticket never showed up. When I finally sat down, I had purchased that poster for $15 before I went to my seat. 5 minutes after sitting down, I'm sitting in the bleachers.
It's the Division Bell poster for
Yes.
folks at home. Since you can't
Which is $500 now if you try to find it. So this is
Look at that little glove
this
face.
is why I keep it. I put it underneath my seat. 5 minutes later, I hear retching. To which I turn around, and apparently this couple, the chick got drunk before the show even started, and puked all over my poster.
Oh.
Did you punch her in the face?
I got mad. And he paid for the poster. I went back, they were gone. So I cleaned it off.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because, no.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
found it for $100 online, never been unrolled.
Right.
My wife said, "You've lost your fucking mind." To which then I looked for further ones, and I find them smaller, but I want that exact poster.
Mm-hmm.
Then I found it in a frame. $5. To which I damn near gave my wife a stroke. Because I said, "Look, here's one for $500," and she went, "I need to sit down." So $100 for a poster. She
I
asked me
heart
if
Georgiana Beach.
She asked me if I lost my mind. But I mean, you think about it, the poster's out of print.
Yeah.
So for $100 wasn't bad.
No, $100 was awesome.
In a frame,
Unrolled
unrolled,
for $100 is awesome.
and it's a huge poster.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's,
But puke.
Huge tux, Alan, you bastard.
Yep.
Yeah, so I just wiped it off.
Excuse me, Connie. If I say may I be of some assistance? Sure.
We need more Sean Connery.
Yes.
Sean Connery.
So should we wrap it up and call it a
Yes.
show?
I think we
Speaking of
should.
imitations, I'd like.
But yeah, we're gonna sign off
I'll
with
take
a little.
the rapist for
Anal bum cover for $500.
Scottish wife beaters for $100.
You see the beast. Have you got it in your sight?
Yes, Miss Moneypenny, this should present no significant problems. Miss Moneypenny, will you get under my desk for about an hour?
Hum me the national anthem.
Aww.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Keep going, that's fucking awesome.
But yeah, your treat today, Radio Listening Land, is Dr. Vice's Darth Vader impersonation.
Yes, yes.
Don't act so surprised, Your Highness. You aren't on any mercy mission this time. Several transmissions were beamed to this ship by rebel spies. I want to know what happened to the plans they sent you.
James Earl Jones, your days are numbered.
You are part of the rebel alliance and a traitor. Take her away.
You lying bitch.
The only time he actually ever shouted.
Speaking of people that are going to be famous after they're heard in that medium,
I bet the next time George Lucas molests Star Wars, he's gonna have you come in to read
I think
James
so.
Earl Jones's.
And matter of fact,
The circuit is now complete. When I met you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
That is what I would say to James Earl Jones.
I think you should say something
It would buy you
like,
a lot of hookers and blows.
I know.
Yeah,
All I would have to
say
say is
hookers
you.
and-
You're
say-
too old and short.
say hookers and blow with that, like, or ma'am, you've got huge areolas.
God, really? Areola?
Yes!
That's what you're gonna
I don't know. I'd have to I need
Think
to
of how about
practice
for
that
next
sort
time?
of-
Yeah, practice that for some other time. That's fucking funny.
Yeah.
Madam, You have huge areola.
or I'm only in it for the hookers and the blow.
I was hoping to purchase your friends.
And a bit of cocaine.
I believe you should throw in the cocaine for free. I'm buying all 12.
That's fucking awesome. Now, some of that shit's got to go on a shirt. Picture of Darth Vader with.
I'm pretty sure
only in
he
it for
gets
the-
sued.
I'm only, yeah, probably. I'm only in it for the hookers and blow.
Oh God, just imagine, Vader pointing at Leia. That ass.
Oh, how about rat-tat-tat, that ass.
That's Fred's thing.
Oh yeah, I do that with a Jewish man accent.
Oh God.
Excuse me, baby, I want a rat-tat-tat-tat ass right now.
Hey, did you ever notice
There was a
that?
whole song that him and my brother did about rat-tat-tatting that ass.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Did you ever notice Gene Simmons? All he is an old Jewish guy now.
Yeah.
I actually had a
Who
friend in
twitters?
Oh, dude. I had a friend who
all
met
the
him in
time.
San Francisco. He was doing a book signing, and he was like, my friend's in line for like 2 hours. He finally gets up there and is like, the line wasn't that long. I don't know why it took so long. Then I get up there, and he looks over at me and goes, hey, have a seat. What do you want to talk about?
Damn. Why you want to talk about, you dumb
What do you want to
bastard?
talk about? Apparently he sounds just like the Aardvark.
Yeah, because and oh man, it's like
Again, next time you kiss me first.
What really gets me though is the Simmons Family Jewels. I mean, it's a neat show and all that, but my problem is it's not the screaming train wreck that the Osbournes is.
exactly
The problem is these people are competent. Okay,
right.
you get to watch them be funny, yet they're not losing anything. Whereas if you watch the Osbournes, you get to watch Ozzy fucking up. You get to watch their idiotic kids fucking up.
Yep.
And you get to watch Sharon dealing with it. Instead, with this, you've got people who are being reasonable and sniping each other constantly.
Yeah.
But it's kind of in good fun.
And the kid and their kids are watching the parents going, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but the kids are awesome. I mean, it's when
The
I was
kids are-
married, at one point my wife is going, by the way, if I ever sleep with the son there, you're not going to have a problem with that. And I was like, no. No, go ahead. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, especially with the money you get from
Oh,
it.
yeah, totally. I don't care. Go right ahead. I couldn't blame you. He's
Yeah.
funnier than me.
I'm only in it for the hookers and blow.
Oh wait,
Wait,
Nameless
what?
does a mean Emperor Palpatine impersonation.
Oh!
It does. It's evil.
Okay, the only thing I got to say about Palpatine, I'm not very good at it, but I remember my mom actually was pretty okay at it, after Jedi. It was this whole like, you will vote Republican, young Skywalker.
Yeah.
the Reagan years.
with Nameless's walking impersonation, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Emperor Palpatine,
Yeah.
does Gollum
Oh, God.
Gollum and Schmeagol.
and
Yeah,
Schmeagol.
yeah. He is a Jamaican guy. He does yoga.
Oh, dude, the Jamaican accent. That's fucking hysterical.
I remember I used to just freak people out in high school. There I am, like, I was like a junior or something like that. I still had the voice. I don't know where it came from. I keep thinking, as a
My
fetus,
mom
I was eating
loves
packs
his
of
voice.
camels.
By the way, my mom met him earlier today. Loves his voice. She's like, you weren't gonna do the radio stuff, right? Because you're just like a perfect radio voice.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I keep hearing that, but when I was at Whole Foods, people were like, oh, I think you have such a great radio voice. And I was like, that'd be a bad idea. My best friend,
Unless it's done right.
my best friend was begging for me, and he'd look at it, no, it'd be bad. It's like, why? You have such a great voice.
It's not the
It's
voice.
not-
Shoot him.
Yeah, it's not the voice, it's what you'd say.
Yeah, the problem is,
Well,
it's like,
exactly.
if you gave me that much wattage of a standard radio station, I would be under a Tijuana jail. In
Yeah,
hours.
The jail.
Yeah.
I'd be shot to death because of the stuff we say here.
Oh, yeah.
That's
They
why
shoot
it's,
my
we're on
ass.
the internet.
One of the things was,
Why nobody knows
For now.
We broadcast from undisclosed locations.
yeah, good idea.
But then you
This
mentioned
is not
cities.
Tijuana, but
Not Tijuana.
just saying.
Something tells me, they say, oh, I do a very good Hispanic transsexual.
Oh, excellent.
Hello, baby.
Lovely. Yeah, I actually had a friend who had a gay Puerto Rican as a coworker
I
at
have
one
a
point.
10-inch cock, baby.
His name was hold on, Edwin. Anyway, at one point, Edwin was found with condoms in his bag, book bag at work. And it was like somebody's like, Edwin, why do you have condoms at work? I mean, what? He just goes, you'll never know.
See? You never know, baby. Business opportunities can pop up anywhere.
He was like, you never know. And I'm like, wow. Okay. No,
Is that my flesh crawling or is my shirt too big?
I keep getting this feeling though that I'm actually sharing my body sometimes with an old Southern queen. Probably a name like Coupe Buffon.
Yeah.
You know of the Lafayette Buffons.
Mhm.
Yes, y'all.
Listen.
Oh, money.
The gay German guy you got living in there.
Oh,
What's his
God.
name?
Klaus.
Klaus.
Yeah. No, when I was working at a restaurant at one point, the fools ended up putting me in charge of the phones. Put me in charge of the phones between shifts, so I could take reservations. Good move. So anyway, I actually got caught by the manager, the general manager, the co-general manager, and the marketing department head, doing my impersonation of Klaus the gay German. It's like, thank you for calling such and such at how can I help you? I was like, how many do you want? Oh, thank you, Klaus. Not a problem. And at one point, I pick it up. Thank you for calling. This is Klaus speaking. Can I help you? Hey, Eddie. All I hear, my general manager has just caught me. Then I just hear, Klaus.
Thank you for calling Barnes & Noble. This is Roxanne. How may I help you, baby? Oh, yes. Come on, baby. You know you want to.
I have to say this. The teenager has started splicing in the word love when she talks. Have you noticed that? She calls people love now. Kind of freaks me out.
Awesome.
I am the least talented vocal here. I could do a Scottish accent. an Irish accent. And
We're not talking about an accent. She's just saying
Yeah,
intense.
no, I'm just saying,
calling people love.
between these three,
Listen,
and
you
even
cocksucker.
you, I'm the least vocally talented.
For the most part, I can't do a Scottish accent too well if it comes to this sort of Edinburgh thing. But
That's nice.
I did a lot of reading of Irvine Welsh before I started. One time, I ended up biting both sides of my tongue. This is while I was reading Hallucinogens. So, there I am, unable to talk properly. Yeah, I'm stuck with a Scottish accent. What? My tongue doesn't move at all when I'm doing it. It hurt a lot less. So there I am, tending bar, and trying not to talk with a Scottish accent when 4 Scotsmen come in and sit down.
Oh, yeah. But if you want to, like what Robert Williams said, if you want a linguistic challenge, get drunk with a Scotsman.
We were.
Yeah, because they can drink.
I was at the same Ozzy show where I saw little Jack, who was 12 then, running around, and Ozzy's up on stage doing his stuff, going, "I don't want Jack, he's all right." But before the show, I'm standing around with my special forces buddy, and we're doing the British accent, and I'm going, "Yeah, well, it's sort of like this then, and we're talking, back and forth sort of thing," and then. All of a sudden, this guy walks up behind me and he goes, "Hey, where are you from?" Oh, fuck.
Hey!
Who was it?
So
Was it just some random British guy?
Yeah, some random British guy was going to Ozzy in Maryland and walked up behind. I was like, "I'm from Birmingham." And he's like, "Oh, really? Where?" And I said, "The south side over there." "Yeah, that's it." Then we're like, "Oh, gotta go. Thanks, bye then."
I actually had a roommate who was from London, and his accent was questionable at best.
Yeah.
He kind of sounded like he sort of was from London, but he sort of talked like this. And the first time I was talking to him, I was like, "Wait a second,
Is he Australian?
is he Australian?"
Yeah.
At one point, I was like, "Are you from Australia?" He goes, "I'm not from fucking Australia. Australia's a penal colony."
Yeah.
I was like, "Sorry." Anyway, he became my roommate several months down the road, and I'm sitting at home watching TV. He comes in and goes, "Hey, Josh, I got a question." "Yeah, what's that?"
You from Brooklyn? Do I ever say like I'm from Australia?
It's like, why?
It's like, because there I am at the bar, and a couple of people from London were over, and they were talking to me, and the girl asked if I was from Australia. I was like, no, not at all. You sound
British.
London. Dun, dun.
You troll.
I couldn't help it. I was oh yeah, you sound like a criminal. Last time I heard somebody talk like you, they were looking over going, you can run, but you can't hide.
That's right, because you're penal. Oh, you're from the colony, sorry.
Yeah. 3 days ago, I went on the road up Costa Rica to Oaxaca. You want to move it? You talk to me. I never want to hear from that dude.
Mad Max. Yes.
All right.
Well, the first one stank.
I watched the first Mad Max. It sucked.
Oh yeah, it was utterly dismal.
I will in a minute.
Well, it was so bad it was good, right?
Is he
No.
right now?
It was just bad.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was more like a soap opera than
It had some
Granted,
good
I
ones.
was expecting Beyond Thunderdome.
Oh,
Mad
yeah,
Max.
yeah.
You got it straight. You watched
So-
Thunderdome first.
No, I still haven't seen it. I've only just
Thunderdome was actually really good.
I figured
That's
I'd
Road
start
Warrior.
with the first Mad Max, and I'm like, this is like a romantic drama.
Yeah.
Dramedy.
No,
What
one
is
of
this?
advice, don't
It's a
start with
dramedy,
Mad Max. In fact, don't watch
Dramedy.
Mad Max.
Yeah.
Best thing.
Should I even watch the
basis-
second one?
Yes, you have to watch the
Road
first
Warrior
one to
is a-
understand the second
So
No,
one.
it's
no,
like
no.
with the Prophet
There's
The
like-
reason why you have to do that is because the message of the movie is that Mad Max crossed that line.
Yes.
Yes, but you
And
can
I
get
got
that with somebody recapping it beforehand, and also
Like,
you
like
can
they
get
did with the Evil Dead.
oh, dude, what are you talking about? The movie stank. Okay, Evil Dead.
Oh,
Evil Dead 2, however, was amazing.
No, I've said
Evil
that
Dead
before.
1.
I like
Not
Evil Dead
amazing.
2
was
Army
Evil
of
Dead
Darkness.
1 with humor.
Evil Dead 2 was Evil Dead 1 without
Before you
women
go
acting. With
Bullshit with me. You said you liked the first one before you watched the second one. You said
Yeah.
the second one was like,
But it still sucked.
oh yeah, it was terrible. Okay,
It was
look,
like
that doesn't mean you
Friday
don't
the
like it.
13th
That movie
back in 1979.
Bruce,
no,
do not
that-
listen to these assholes.
Evil Dead had about half of Bruce Campbell's chin in it.
Now the
Evil
third
Dead
one,
2, the full Monty.
that one was awesome. I loved
Army of Darkness.
the third one.
Oh
Yes.
my
Army
god.
of Darkness was good. Evil Dead 2, phenomenal.
You
It was
giggled.
hilarious,
You giggled.
but it was like
No, no.
campy
When they
You
hilarious.
redid
giggled
all
like
the
a little
lines like
kid.
my wife has
You-
become host to a Kandarian demon. And I'm like, I
You
remember that
giggled
the
like a
first
little
one
kid
stank,
when he
but
called the
this
old
is
man
awesome.
spinach chair.
I did spinach
I
chin.
mean, she like she was 4 years old. She said, he said, "Look here, spinach chin." She went and kept giggling for. I'm like, do we have to pause this?
Yes.
And just, you know, when like someone would pop up in Evil Dead and it was like on wires, you know, wah! And it's usually Sam Raimi's brother. You know,
Yeah.
like, wah! And I'm like, okay, this is why I came. This is awesome. Evil Dead? No.
No.
I want Sam Raimi's brother on wires.
She looked at me funny when you see him laughing at the fucking lamp. And she's like, what the fuck is this all about? I'm like, the man just snapped. What do you expect? I mean,
Just, I mean,
But
everything
it was
about
so campy. It was.
It was very, very
yes, it
campy.
was
Well,
campy.
the thing was campy.
Yeah, but the problem with Evil Dead 1 was it wasn't
There was
wasn't
no
funny,
camp to it.
and it also wasn't, what's that word? Oh, scary. Yeah.
I want
Um,
scary. I want something that's going to scare the bejesus out of
Event
me.
Little
Horizon.
puppies.
That
Oh, yeah.
fucking sucked, okay?
Get out of my house! Really?
Actually, it's her house.
All right, Mr. Analog,
I
I'm going to have to
hated
boogie.
every
I loved
minute.
Event Horizon.
Oh my god.
All right, young
Did you
mom.
not find it scary?
I gotta.
Oh, really?
All right.
Bye, darling. Thank
Goodbye,
you so much for joining
Please,
us
please
today.
persist. And it was very nice meeting you.
Very nice meeting you. Very nice working with you.
Indeed.
Australia.
And we'll have to do it again. We'll have to do it again.
They say do it again.
Yeah.
for at least 50 grand.
We will again. We will have to do it repeatedly. Repeatedly, I'm telling you.
Some
Repeatedly.
curry going
Yes.
on there.
Sometimes I feel like a nut, and sometimes I just look like one. That's what I'm saying to you, very quickly.
You do that way too well.
So you're
Yes.
more the back.
But he actually lived in India for a while, so you know.
Yes, and there will be. I will.
Not wah.
I'm going to go to I'm going to a shopping mall, and I'm going to light off some explosives. I will see you later on.
Oh, now the FBI is really going to be on us.
Yeah.
Have fun with Pakistan.
That's what we're- Oh.
Bring a pig.
Oh.
Alrighty then.
Hey, watch out, they got nukes.
That's right. We'll pork him.
I swear to God, I would too if he could download
I'll talk to
them.
you later.
Alright, young man.
There's
That's all.
nothing,
It was a blast.
there was nothing wrong with Event Horizon.
Oh, wait, real quick, just to backtrack,
Hold
because
on,
I made
you
a
talking
comment
Event
that I
Horizon or
didn't
Sphere?
really
What?
Because
explain.
everybody confuses the
Well,
two.
no, I didn't like either one of them.
Oh,
We'll get
okay,
back to
fair enough.
this.
Yes.
So my question was, because you were saying you don't have to. You said with Mad Max you have to see the first one in order to
I
understand
understand
the
the
two.
second one.
Yeah, I totally
I made the
disagree.
comment of, does it mean that it's like the Prophecy series? And what I meant was, because we had talked about how the second Prophecy series, second
No,
Prophecy film
I see what you're
was
saying.
not a great film, but
No.
you really had to watch it in order to understand 3.
The only reason why I suggest you should watch Mad Max before you watch The Road Warrior is that when you're watching The Road Warrior, there's no explanation as to why he's the Road Warrior.
Disagree.
There's no, well, they do a slight little
Interruption.
recap.
Yeah, they do a recap that's brilliantly done, but the whole line of, ordinary men were battered and smashed.
Yeah.
Men like Max, the warrior Max.
But if you notice, what happened between first and second film
Mhm.
was the apocalypse. There wasn't the apocalypse in the first film.
Right.
So one of the things that made Mad Max was the apocalypse.
It also
Gotcha.
didn't really explain that either. It was there was also the implication that whatever apocalypse was occurring was a fuel shortage.
in the first film.
Right, a fuel shortage issue that eventually turned into
Nuclear
warfare.
warfare.
But they really don't even need to go into that because let's face it, all that really matters is that car. I mean,
Yes.
who cares about nukes when you got a car like that? Also, who cares about dialogue? There were about 5 words in it.
Yeah,
They were
Right.
good.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's about it.
There were good ones.
Lingerie. Do
Yeah.
you remember lingerie?
I will admit that the first film was very low budget.
Yeah.
Second film wasn't really that much of a bigger budget, but Beyond Thunderdome was
Mhm.
high
Huge.
Hollywood production.
Wow.
It was huge.
I mean, I didn't have a problem with the budget of the first film. I literally had a problem with the script.
It was also very slow. I will freely admit that it was very slow.
Oh,
But see,
man.
I love foreign films, so I'm used to the slowness and
Yeah.
that
That was
dramatic
slow, it
tension.
was boring.
It was so.
It's just like with The Exorcist. You don't get really into the film until halfway through.
Yeah, except The Exorcist was actually a good movie.
Yes, it was.
Which,
Even with
unlike...
her crawling
Yeah.
backwards down the damn stairs, all creepy like.
I made her watch the extended director's cut.
That was
No.
awesome.
That was awesome.
She said it was
Okay.
So
creepier
awesome.
than the original release.
Yes.
I actually did
Yeah.
not
But
know
I
how
was bored halfway through. I'm going, oh my god, is this ever gonna pick
There was
up?
only one moment that I was actually in the least bit scared or nervous, but it was the scene when like there's a window or somebody like a shot off a window and you actually see
The
Captain
face.
Howdy's face,
Yeah.
and it's really fast, and I was scared shitless for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And this was about 4 years ago, so it's like okay, good. I'm still living with that. That's the rest of the movie.
Sorry,
though,
I
was
still got a
like,
thing of clouds.
I only say
so.
that you have to watch the first
After
film to
reading
understand
it.
the second
Oh.
film because I
Reading.
appreciate the trilogy.
No, I agree. I saw maybe
And
the
then
second
Tim
one,
Curry
or the
as
third
the clown,
one,
as
so
Pennywise.
It also
But every
made
time
Mel
I think of
Gibson
Tim
famous.
Curry,
yes,
Every
that's why
time
I
I
wanted
think
to
of
see it.
Tim Curry,
Because I was
I
like,
think of
just
oh,
as sweet
Yeah.
transvestite.
And you see him, and
I'm
you're
sorry.
like,
Okay, the part that gets to
what
me.
just happened?
they're talking about it.
Oh, with Tim Curry.
Actually, I derailed it into Rocky Horror Picture
Yeah, we
Show.
did.
I noticed.
But the
That's
part when he goes,
distracted me.
okay, tell me there's something wrong with his accent when he's like, let me show you rind, maybe play with signed. Is he saying, let me show you a rind? I mean, were they
I
drinking?
don't know.
Yeah.
Was
Probably.
it,
There might have been some hookers and blow involved. You
Lime.
don't know.
Maybe.
If you go
Orange.
back,
Lime.
if you go back, if you
I
go
got
back and watch Mad Max, the first one,
No.
and as you've grown with films of Hollywood, like I've said, love Tom Cruise as an actor. He's a crazy son of a bitch.
Hey.
I love Mel Gibson as an actor. He's got inner demons to deal with.
So does everybody else.
So does
Yeah,
everybody
he's a
else.
complete fucking asshole about it.
True, but you look back after seeing. You look back and you see Lethal Weapon. You look at The Patriot. You look at the latest film he did is the father of the Brooklyn cop. What was the film? Where his daughter died because she was exposed to cancer.
Oh dear God, having that movie.
Well, something darkness.
What about the one with the
Edge of
beaver
Darkness.
hand puppet?
I haven't seen that
I
yet.
want to see
I wanna-
that.
I want to see that one.
I want to see that.
You guys can go on your own.
But you look at
Well,
how
it's a drama.
you look-
It's not.
I don't
It's
like
not as-
dramas.
you look how young he looks in Mad Max.
Go on your own.
Yeah.
I want one.
You look at
You
Mad
want a
Max.
hand beater?
Vagina!
You look at
Oh,
Mad
see,
Max
now
and you
the
see how
movie's
young Mel Gibson looks. He was literally like 19.
Oh my god, he was. That's what shocked me when I first started watching the movie.
And it was
It was in the
interesting-
instant queue on Netflix.
And it was
Yeah.
interesting, he approached the film as being one of the beat-up thugs because he got into a bar fight the night before, and him and his friend were going there, and his friend was trying to audition for something else, and they loved Mel Gibson's look, beat the fuck up. So like, you come back tomorrow, and he comes back, and he's all healed up. He goes, who the hell are you? And he goes, I was the guy that came with what's his name. I look different because I just got into a bar fight the night before. And that's how he landed the role of Mad Max, was that whole series. But with Event Horizon, that movie was the shit. You got Sam Neill,
I love
who
that
played a
movie.
crazy scientist.
Lawrence Fishburne, not playing Cowboy Curtis.
What was great about Lawrence Fishburne
I'm
is they
down.
see the log of everybody going nuts, and then it ends the log, and he says with a straight face, we're out of here.
We're out of here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And he said it with such deadpan conviction, but it turned out to be funny.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what you see them cutting each other up while
Oh,
they're
yeah.
doing all sorts. We're leaving.
But see, I like Sam Neill, but this part just kind of threw me. I
I-
didn't like
see,
it.
I-
It didn't scare me.
Mm.
What? Not even psychological scary like it was supposed to be. It's just.
I was also on a half hit of some Grateful Dead stuff when I went.
Ah.
Nah, probably didn't affect it much, except it gave me the twitches every approximately 7 minutes. Full
It
body.
did have that alien vibe.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
expecting the alien to pop out and make a cameo.
And then there was that other movie, Sunshine.
I love the.
I love
I
Sunshine.
loved
See,
it.
Sunshine,
I haven't seen
actually
that.
Love
liked.
Sunshine.
I
But
loved it.
I was gonna say I love sci-fi horror
Yes.
movies, so that's why
If
I
it's
love
done
Event Horizon.
well.
If it's
I
done
felt like they did Event Horizon well, as far as the sci-fi horror.
Sci-fi
Now,
horror,
yeah.
I'll give it
She
that.
probably
That's
would have
all I'm
liked
asking.
love
Is
that
sci-fi
genre.
horror.
She probably would have
Genre.
liked it better had there not been the fire in LA to kill
Where they
the
killed-
additional
yes.
footage.
I have
Oh.
to agree.
That's why there's some questions where it didn't, the
Mhm.
continuity didn't flow well.
Right.
They had to shave off 19 minutes to keep it from an NC-17 rating.
Well, it's
Right.
also Kingdom of Heaven. The first time I saw it
The
was
theatrical
the
version
theatrical
sucked.
version. I'm going, what the hell is this? And then we got the 3-hour version.
Which was a
in there, which
wonderful
was-
film.
Oh my god.
I love that
My
movie.
favorite movie, I saw the theatrical version like the night it came out. Yes, Watchmen. Okay, I'm a dork. Big dork. Anyway, saw
big
the Watchmen in the
dork.
movie theater. And I thought it was as good a job as they could do given the material theatrically. I gave it a B+, you know. And
think I
A
gave
The
it a
for
creator of the
effort,
comic book
A
hated
for
it.
effort, but it did the best it could. Got the director's cut. Now it's my favorite movie. The pacing for the ending had completely gotten shredded on the cutting room floor. They
Really?
put it back together again. The director's cut. Yes, there is no space squid in it. I don't have to have a space squid in order to be justified. I liked where the direction they took it. And Alan Moore will not watch it, and I think, you know, he's kind of a douche. But, you know,
Wait,
I
who's
just gotta
Alan Moore?
Alan Moore's
Who's
the
Alan
creator of
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Can't
See,
remember
I
Alan
read
names.
the comic book.
phenomenal comic book.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great. One of the guys I worked with gave me, he was like, I'm loaning this to you, do not ruin it. I have 3 copies, but do not ruin it.
I haven't watched the latest edition of it, but apparently they've edited the entire Tales of the Black Freighter portion of it into the movie. So now the movie's clocking in at close to 4 hours.
Holy
Good
shit.
God.
I've
Which-
seen the original
That's like a
6.
geek sleepover.
I have
movie.
seen.
Dude,
Hey, you can't say anything. We have weekends where we do the whole
Lord of the
Harry
Rings.
Potter
Oh,
or
I
Lord of the
didn't
Rings.
say it was a bad
Director's
thing.
cut, Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings.
I
Lord
didn't
of
say
the
it was a
Rings.
bad
but
thing.
I'm just
Oh
saying,
my
The
God.
Watchmen, if it's when it was done,
You know how much I
I
love
thought it was
movies.
the best job that
We
we've
will
done
sit
theatrically.
all
Did you
weekend.
see my movie list, Omar?
I have
Come on.
You see
seen-
mine?
The damn near
Mine's on the
6-hour
website.
version of Dune.
That's how much of a dork I am. I put mine on the. It's
I've actually
fucking
got
long
the
as hell.
fan
Arranged by
version,
country.
Really?
I'm not
Yes.
kidding. Go check it out.
Oh my god.
So-
where the guy's narrating,
'Cause I
not
put-
Princess Erlon.
I'm really a geek. I'm an
I actually
80s
got
geek.
that version.
Uh-huh.
Love my 80s
Holy
John
shit.
Hughes
So
movies.
that's like the
Okay.
how long is that?
It's about
That's how
5
bad it is.
hours,
I think
15
I've got
minutes.
So you have like
Mine
the
Institute right now,
premium
so watch
Yes,
that.
the
version.
only surviving longest version.
And it's
Oh
not
my
for
God.
Kelly. It's
That
actually
is
for
awesome.
two geeky
It is a
guys.
great version.
I really want to see that, honestly.
And I've
they're
seen the
hilarious. Like,
remakes,
it's
and I've
just
seen all the other.
absolutely
I've
hilarious
seen the
movie.
David Lynch version, which was the original director.
And
of
Howard the
Savage
Duck, I
Blue,
think, is also in
and
my
I've
Institute.
seen the
It
sci-fi
is, yeah.
version.
It
They
is
still
an
don't
instant
come close to the book.
Yeah, no.
What are you
But
talking about?
Dune. I've seen the
Oh.
damn near 6-hour version.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean,
I put Weird Science in the institute. the other
Spice
day.
must flow.
And Howard the Duck.
We
That's why I
have
say
both on
spice
DVD.
must flow.
my comment: he who
But that's
controls the
me
spice
getting
control the universe.
Or at least the pussy.
Spice must flow.
The spice must
I've said it 3 times. You are late.
Sorry.
I'm just saying that like we talked
You
about.
gotta come over more often.
You know, we're trying to steal him.
I still have that song. The Spice Must Flow by Eon.
Do you?
Oh yeah, I got it on my iPod right now.
That's the Dune soundtrack by Toto.
Yeah, so do I on my iPod right now. In fact, it's the only thing by Toto I have.
I actually have 4 on record.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Have you ever seen Yacht Rock?
Actually, I have 4 on record.
You
That was the other band my mother introduced me to. So it was the Alan Parsons Project and Toto.
You know, Steve
Radio
Porcaro
introduced
actually
me
finally
to Toto.
broke Toto up like year before last, with the statement of, "I can no longer play hold the line with a straight face." I was like, that is the best reason I have heard yet.
I think it's great that the story behind Rosanna was great. It's about Rosanna Arquette.
I
Kind of,
love
yeah.
that song.
And they were in the middle of the separation, about to be divorced,
Yeah.
and she heard it on the radio and went back to him.
Have you ever seen Yacht Rock?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Just the whole. What was it? I've done my research, brothers in Toto, that I found that the root chakra is my taint.
Kingdom of Heaven was a great film because of the way Ridley Scott filmed it. It was the first film to be completely filmed in digital.
Yeah.
So he was able to tweak the lighting, and he had a decent set of actors. I mean, come on. You had, what's his name? I can never remember his name.
Edward
Both
Norton?
of you seen the Harry Potter films?
Yes.
Okay, the guy that played Professor Lupin.
Him.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know his first international film was Dragonheart. He played the kid.
Oh, shit!
Yeah, he played the redheaded kid that actually received the dragon's heart.
Yeah.
That's him.
By
And
the
it just blew me away. I'm like, oh. And I liked, ever since that film, I've liked his acting. And the next time I remember seeing him was in Harry Potter. So I was like, holy shit. Now he's in all sorts of friggin' films. I loved his line where he's sitting there talking after Liam Neeson's character passed away. Spoiler alert. He's sitting there talking to Orlando Bloom, talking about, I take no stock in someone who says they do something in the name of God. Which was unusual from a Templar Hospitaller. You know, his whole thing was faith. And so he was basically a warrior monk. And it was very interesting to see. Plus the guy, I mean, the greatest lines was at the end. He's sitting there, he's talking about, I will destroy every stone, every temple, everything before, I let you in. And he goes, maybe you should. And then he goes, so he surrenders the city so that everybody can leave. And he goes, how much is it worth? He goes, nothing. Walks away a couple steps, turns back, and goes, everything. I like the guy that played the adversary. It was great.
Saladin.
Saladin. And the film had wonderful actors in it. It actually had two Lord of the Rings actors in it. The guy who played the prince, who became king.
Where are you sitting in
He
the
played the the tree elf king, asking where Gandalf was at, because he noticed that Gandalf's not here.
Yeah.
And then you had Orlando Bloom, who played Legolas. It had a wonderful acting, wonderful ensemble. Plus, it also had Brendan Gleeson in it, who was a wonderful actor.
By the way, I know this is off subject. Speaking of sci-fi horror, though, have you seen Pandorum?
Yes.
I did like that.
The reason why I watched it is I'm a big Dennis Quaid fan. Love Dennis Quaid. Ever since I saw Dreamscape. Ever since I saw Dreamscape. I've been a big Dennis Quaid.
I loved, oh god, all I can think about from Dreamscape, though, is that one guy, and all I can think about with him, Warriors, come out, play!
The guy that played the assassin for the Dreams?
Yeah.
That's T-Bird from The Crow.
Yeah, it is.
Plus, I had Christopher Plummer in it. He was a wonderful Shakespearean actor.
I've never even seen The Crow.
Really?
I was
I've never
dragged to go
got
see it.
I
I didn't care.
hated it.
Fuck
Scream
James
over that
O'Barr.
film. I have no desire to watch The Crow.
It's a great way to be
It was a
gothy in
great-
high school.
yeah.
It's so
Wait.
gothy in high school.
Oh crap, I was out of high school. Yeah,
When did that
that's
come out?
why I didn't like it.
95,
Oh,
96?
actually there
In
was
high school, I didn't even want to see
there was
it.
a really good reason to watch The Crow, though. Chicks loved it. Seriously,
It looks ridiculous.
Chicks
I'm sorry,
loved
it
it.
looks ridiculous.
I
It
actually liked
is.
the movie.
It's horrible.
It's a good movie.
Hmm?
It's a vigilante type.
What, isn't it? Wait, who
What?
in the
What?
original Crow? Who played the lead person?
Brandon Lee.
Bruce Lee's son.
Yeah.
That's the
little
only
kid
thing it's got going for me as far as interest is to,
Yeah.
for me watching the movie.
Oh, to watch the
It's-
dead guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
that's
to
cool.
watch the guy who was
Who's
Bruce
dead.
Lee's son.
Who's dead?
I'm a big
Yeah.
Bruce Lee fan. I know
Oh.
he's dead, but I'm a huge Bruce Lee fan.
His dad was a better actor.
I don't doubt that, but
Yeah.
you know, I just was. I'm curious as to.
Oh, but Iggy Pop was in the sequel.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh god.
I
I
was in
do
there
love
for like 10
Hardware, by
minutes.
the way.
Huh?
Hardware. I do love that film. Oh, I was like, oh, me too. You got the Frankenstein walk going on and everything.
Well, it's either like I was telling you, the pimp or the gimp. Observe the other way.
I think the gimp works better.
It definitely gives him more sympathy points.
Not the Ed Grimley gimp.
Well, no. The thing about it is I can either walk with a strut or walk with a limp. And I'm sorry, the limp takes more effort. So, low calorie pimp, I'll go for that.
Low calorie.
I mean, there has to be certain. It's like sci-fi. Star Trek is great to watch. Star Trek is great to watch, but I want my science fiction to be realistic.
Okay, thanks. That's why I like Babylon 5.
The movie or the television series?
The what? Movie?
The movie was first.
The movie was The Gathering. You're talking the Babylon 5 Gathering, the pilot? Okay, hold on. I am a Babylon 5 expert.
There's a movie which
Yeah.
spawned the series.
The movie was the pilot.
Movie came out 2 years before the pilot.
Do your research.
Somebody's mind is about to get blown.
The movie, if it's the pilot that you're talking about, came out. It had slightly different casting. They had Delenn made up as a male, and it was The Gathering, and it was kind of horrible. A lot, like real bad. I was surprised that flew. The show, season 1. Stank. Mostly. Season 2, better. Season 3 and 4 were possibly the greatest moments of television history ever filmed. Season 5 was alright.
Babylon 5: The Gathering came out.
He
Dude,
does
it
a
was
lot. He does tend to almost cream himself a lot.
Michael O'Hare.
Yep.
Tamlin Tamita.
Tamia, yeah.
Jerry Doyle.
Yep.
Mira Furlong.
Yep.
Blair Barron.
Yep.
John
Those.
Fleck.
Oh, what's
Yep.
the name?
That's all for the pilot.
Okay, that was
The
The
Gathering.
Gathering.
Yep. The Gathering. It's horrible.
I'm Sherry Ann.
Oh god, it was so god awful.
Sunshine?
I actually saw some episodes of it from the 3rd season before I started watching it in earnest. And if I had seen that first, I never would have looked at it again.
Thank God, Daddy.
If you ever want to get into Babylon 5, don't start with that. Start with episode 1 of season 1. Avoid the pilot.
He's
It's,
got me watching BSG now, so.
Battlestar Galactica, for those of you who...
at least it's
I
not
grew up
the
watching the original.
Hold on.
Bayo, come on.
Lucifer was so awesome.
Oh, Lucifer was great.
You know who played him, right? Dr. Smith.
Really?
Yes, that was the same actor.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's why he sounded so perfect. It's like, wow, this guy has Christmas lights and lipstick, and he's creepy.
He's
I mean,
creepy.
He had a glass head with Christmas lights in it, and I'm not kidding, lipstick on the face. Everything else was glass. It was like, this is kind of gay. The LeMay cape also did not help the image,
No.
but his voice made him sound like the most
Marley.
evil transsexual robot you have ever seen in your life.
Marley.
Transsexual.
I mean, creep-tastic.
There's a kid.
Come on. I mean, oily voice. And it was Dr. Smith from Lost in Space. The original show.
Yeah.
You know, the good one?
Yeah, the good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the remake movie with Matthew LeBlanc
Oh, is that who was in it?
and William Hurt, of course.
Oh, yeah. That guy from...
And Gary Oldman.
Yeah, but William Hurt.
Gary
Oh,
Oldman.
yeah. That's the fellow from Sid and Nancy. Yeah. He was.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
You're right.
I'm actually a huge Alex Cox fan. I just saw Repo Man again a couple of days ago.
I think we have that, don't we?
We have it. We just haven't had a chance to watch it.
You haven't seen it yet? You haven't seen it or haven't watched the your copy of it?
Haven't seen it at all.
Is that the opera thing?
No,
this
that's
is called
Repo
Repo Man
Genetic
with,
Opera. No, Repo Man's the one with that line of John Wayne was a fag. The hell he was. I'm serious. I had a friend who was installing two-way mirrors in his bedroom, and he came to the door in a dress. Yeah. Plus more, but yeah.
That's fine. I only ask because, just like with the same issues that I have with The Crow about how I have no desire to watch it because of all the douchebags that have to cream themselves over it. Same thing with the Repo Genetic Opera or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah. No.
Everybody thinks it's so fabulous, and their pitch is, oh, well, Paris Hilton's in it, and she plays a total little rich bitch. I'm like,
okay,
I don't
actually-
like musicals. I don't like Paris Hilton.
I was gonna say.
I don't want to see his fucking piece of shit movie.
Word of advice: don't watch it. It's not all that. I really loved
figured
it.
as much, just from the type.
I'm interested in seeing it because I like the idea of the concept of the story.
Yes, it's fairly well executed.
Have at it, sir.
It's
And I'm not a musical fan.
No, he's not.
It's a bit musical. There's one musical number in it I like, and that's just because, it's twisted, but other than that, it kind of stinks. I'm sorry, there is actually one musical I can think of off the top of my head I still enjoy.
What?
Rocky Horror Picture Show without the audience. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
I did my time.
My favorite part of the
20
film.
years ago.
My favorite part of the film, the only part I'll watch, is where he's killing Meatloaf.
There's that whole scene, though. I love that whole scene.
But I don't like Meatloaf. That's why I enjoy that scene.
Well, the thing is, that scene spans like 3 songs, but I love it. The rest of it, I can do without it. But I love Tim Curry,
Tim Curry is a movie whore, and I'm not saying that as an insult. He does some of the greatest roles ever.
Sit and talk with me.
That is one of my most favorite Tim Curry films ever.
Which what?
Legend.
Legend.
Sit or stand.
Sorry, I got this. He gave me this for my Darth Vader impersonation.
Which was
does
evil.
require...
Death.
Yeah. I know I've done this line several times already, but...
Do it again for the kids at home.
Okay, hold on. Which one should I do?
Don't be too proud of this technological terror you've constructed, General. Its power is insignificant compared to that of the Force.
That's creepy.
So we're going to get him with John doing the Emperor.
Don't act so surprised, Your Highness. You weren't on any mercy mission this time. Several transmissions were beamed to this ship by rebel spies. I want to know what happened to the plans they sent you.
Lion bitch.
Tits or GTFO.
Yeah, you can take the tard off B, but you can't take the B out of the tard.
Slash.
Ow!
Hey, I love that movie. That's one of my guilty pleasures.
Oh god, I actually have a colitis mask. I knew this guy who made his own colitis mask for Halloween and gave it to me, and it fits.
Oh, you gotta bring it over.
Yeah.
I gotta see it.
Okay, dude, that would be awesome. Just so we can, play with it.
It's one of the few Queen albums I'll listen to.
Yeah, ditto.
Because it's
awesome.
It was the third film I saw in theaters. I saw Star Wars, Empire, and then Flash Gordon. And I saw Flash Gordon back to back on a matinee with my dad.
What kind of amusement have you planned for me today?
I mean, come on, Max von Sydow was the pimp in that film. I mean, it was campy, it was cheesy.
Oh yeah, Max
It
von
was
Sydow.
a De La racist film.
Yeah, and it was the most expensive honking ball of cheese ever made.
But it had Brian Blessed.
Yes! Hulkman! Dive!
And he has the greatest line in The Black Adam. The length of my sword is only known to the Queen and 1,000 Turkish whores. He's just got this epic, booming, basso voice. And it's just, every time
I was actually excited about episode 1 because he was going to be the voice of Boss Nass, and I was like, that's going to be awesome. It wasn't awesome.
Yeah.
I cried.
Yeah.
I needed
I
my
cried. No,
I needed
dude,
my
I
Brian
cried.
Blessed.
I was upset with George Lucas because there was only 3 minutes, and I timed it. 3 minutes of Terrence Stamp, who is a baller fucking actor. Have you seen The Limey?
Yes!
That is a great movie.
That movie was horrible.
And he's
it felt horrible.
He's General
Feels
Zod
dirty and nasty.
in Superman 2.
Oh God! So I saw this Facebook thing somebody fabricated. It was like something about Kneel Before Zod. It's like Superman, Lex Luthor, and Zod all on Superman's page, and Superman is telling Lex that we've been doing this for a while. I want to arch other people.
I think Terrence Stamp is an underrated actor. And when he's in Star Wars, I'm just going 3 minutes, that's it. That's
I know,
it.
right?
And apparently there was like 15 minutes of shot footage.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, Christopher Lee. They put Christopher Lee in for a while, but it's like that still wasn't even good footage of
I mean,
it.
fuck, you had, God, what the hell's his name? He played Governor Tarkin.
Yeah, Peter Cushing.
Peter Cushing was at least half in the film.
I know! I love them old Hammer films, you know, so it's like, having a revisitation of those was just beautiful.
Yeah,
Except the only problem is Dracula's not supposed to have a beard.
Peter Cushing, Vincent Price. There were the
Hey,
big
look, it's
four.
Dracula
There were the big four.
with a lightsaber.
There were the big four original horror masters. It was Vincent Price, Peter Cushing. They're all dead now, but
They're all dead.
they were all like the major black and white horror films.
Hold on, Peter Lorre.
Peter Lorre was one.
Bela Lugosi.
Bela Lugosi.
Boris Karloff.
Boris Karloff. So you had the
Lon
five
Chaney Jr.
Yes, so you had 6 major horror, grandfathers of horror films. And Peter Cushing.
I don't think Peter Cushing counts because he was in the Hammer films, and Christopher Lee generally played the bad guy, usually Dracula.
And I think Christopher Lee, Christopher Lee did a heavy metal album earlier this year. I have a copy of it.
How
It's
is it?
opera heavy metal. It's about Charlemagne.
You know,
I think he just died a little inside.
I'm not sure in which direction either. That sounds horrible yet oddly compelling.
It was like he just hit a really big joint,
Yeah.
and it all hit him at once.
I'm not
But I'm
really
just
sure how
thinking,
to
Christopher
react to
Lee's
that.
heavy metal. How epic could this be?
About Charlemagne. Yes! Wait a minute. Hold. This could suck.
He doesn't
Or it
sing.
could be epic.
He doesn't sing.
What does he do?
He narrates.
Sold.
What does he do?
I'm all down. I could use more Christopher Lee in my life every single day.
His voice alone.
Oh God,
He's
yes.
got one of those epic voices.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does.
I'd like to listen to him read books.
Yeah, right. Book narrated by who? Dracula. Yes. I mean, seriously, he played Dracula what, like 6 times or something? I mean, that's a record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he play more than Bela Lugosi?
Oh yeah, Bela Lugosi played Dracula like 3 or 4 times.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I wanted to double check.
Yeah, Christopher Lee was like in every Hammer film, which was mostly Dracula and the something or other of Dracula.
Yeah.
Something or other.
The this and that of Dracula. Loved them. No, they weren't good. Yes, they were epic. They had Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee as Dracula.
And surprisingly, I'm going to probably commit blasphemy here. I thought Gary Oldman did a decent.
I love that movie. I have it on DVD.
Did
and
you talk
Blu-ray, I
to
believe.
you?
Did what?
I thought that Gary Oldman did a decent Dracula.
I agree.
I haven't seen it.
I've actually
You ever
decided
seen
that I like
the one by
that.
Francis Ford Coppola? With Winona Ryder?
Okay, here's the thing. Oh, and
Oh.
Keanu, what's his face?
Wait. Oh no, wait.
Yeah, it had Keanu Reeves.
It had
Yeah,
Anthony Hopkins.
Okay. To be fair, I saw it when I was a teenager.
So you were all
I
wet for
haven't
it.
seen. I was like 12,
What?
13.
Of
so
course,
I
yeah,
didn't
naturally.
See it again.
I have
It
to
came
see
out-
it.
it
since
came
then.
out
So
around
that's
the
why I
same
don't
time as
remember.
And we're prime fodder for it. It's terrible. No, I mean,
Oh no, my mom brought it home. My mom brought home fucking Nightmare on Elm Street when I was 7. I mean,
That's not what I'm getting at. Prime fodder. You were like exactly the sliding off your bar stool age for that. So romantic.
and you know what? You know what? You know what? They didn't sparkle.
No. You know why?
Because that's not gay.
Hey now. I like those.
Oh,
Apparently I am in my other here.
Even the teenager got it on that one.
Beat me.
I literally want to see. I love that photo of Blade and Buffy
Yes.
against Edward. I think it's
Oh
great.
God! Do me a favor. Search for Edward image. Just look up Edward.
Sorry, Mommy.
You will be going with me in November. I'm going. November.
I'm going.
Okay. Yeah. Image. Okay. Scroll down. It's got to be there
Brittany
somewhere.
Dawn, part 1.
It is possibly one of the greatest things ever done. Unless, because I don't want to give away a surprise. There's another keyword. Actually, if I could see that real quick, I'm gonna type in something
like
that'll.
the original German
Okay.
Nosferatu
If you could look away for a moment.
film. So that's why I'm like, you're gonna glitter my vampires? No.
These aren't vampires. These are vampire light.
Yes, I don't like Diet Coke, so
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. But see, if you read the book, what? If you read the book,
There's
I know
fun.
it's more. Rick actually read the books.
because he didn't read fine.
I didn't read the fine print. In my defense, I made her read Stephen King's The Dark Tower first.
I had to read all
And then she said, we have to read one of my books. And I was like, how bad could this be? And all of a sudden, you got to read the Twilight books.
Yeah, pretty terrible. And there you go.
Oh, that ain't right. Why is Adama in here? That ain't right.
What?
Edward. Nice meeting you.
What?
Sorry, my boobs
What is
got in the way
this?
of your head.
What is this?
Awesome. No, just it's a rag against Twilight. Instead of Edward, Edward. The real one. Yeah.
Edward
He
Jr.
sparkles like a pimp.
Which when I found out when I watched Battlestar Galactica, the television series, I watched it under duress. My dad was a big fan, and which I thought was blasphemous because we both watched the original series.
Right.
I'm sorry, not to sound sexist. Star Trek is a dude. So
That's to me, that's not sexist. That's more continuity of the original
right.
content, which is something that I've complained about with Hollywood remaking foreign films, where they remake
Muck
it
everything up.
and butcher it, and it's like, why? It was fine the way it was.
Right.
Yeah, don't be a faggot about it. Do it right.
So and Lauren Green played the original Adama.
Yes.
Okay. So I grew up, and I didn't care for the 1980 series.
There was one episode of it that was good. Everything else stank so
My
badly.
favorite episode of the 1980 series was the last one with Starlight.
Yes, that's what I mean. That one episode was fantastic. The rest of it stank.
Right.
But
So
that one episode
the
was amazing.
1978 series was great, and Richard Hatch was in it.
Yes.
And then I come to find out Richard Hatch was in the reimagination of Battlestar Galactica in several episodes. I'm like, okay. And then I come to find out that that Gary Larson became the consultant executive producer. I'm like, okay. Then my dad kept talking about it. Well, my dad's terminally ill, so I'm like, let's find out why he liked it. So I watched it. And the writers did a damn good job. It's hard to write about one religion. These guys wrote about 3. And you weren't confused. You did have to pay attention to the series or you'll be lost. But the special effects were great. It reminded me a lot of Firefly with the spaceship scenes, which I did like the way they shot. And then I found out Edward James Olmos played Adama. And I remember seeing Olmos in a film with Lou Diamond Phillips about him being a teacher, teaching troubled kids. And I was like, okay, so I do remember it. So I watched it, and I'm like,
Lou Diamond Phillips.
it was great. I'm still a big fan of the original series, but I liked what they did with the reimagination.
And that's, I think, the mindset with something like this. That's really the mindset that you need to go when you approach things such as this. Is not, I think that a lot of times what happens with the whole, especially with the whole books to film or comic books to film that's happening nowadays, is a lot of people are so, I want it the way that I remember when I first saw it the first time, and it's, you have to understand that, especially when you're crossing from, books, it's something completely different than actual, live action. So I think that a mindset of understanding. I mean, look, we've seen plenty of films where they did a shitty job of translating the book or the comic book into an actual film. But I think understanding that it is a reimagination, not a direct like.
Well, and your perspective at the time you saw it changes as well. When I was a kid, I saw a very not well done Sean Connery film. I'm sorry to say that. Called Sir Gawain and the Green Knight when I was a kid. When I found it on DVD as a child, as an adult, I watched it going, "This is bad. This is terrible. Why did I like this?" Same thing with the Super Friends. I'm watching the Super Friends as a kid, going, "Oh, it's Saturday morning, yay!" And as an adult, watching it on Cartoon Network, going, "This is
Yeah. Not only is it gay, it's bad.
It's bad.
Bad and gay.
It's got nothing going for it.
So I thought it was my perspective. So I went back and rewatched the 1978 series of Battlestar Galactica, and noticed certain shots were recycled. I noticed that some of the acting was
wooden,
but it was still one of those. I loved this as a child. This is what got me into sci-fi.
Yeah.
Same thing with Flash Gordon. I watched this
Hold
again.
No.
Thought it was epic.
Hold on, it's still epic because it hasn't changed at all. There's no way it can be dated. No, seriously, this movie is. It's impossible for this movie to become dated because it was made with a dated feel.
Yeah.
It was made to look like an in Technicolor Republic cereal.
Yeah.
Which is, the spaceships had fins, spikes on the front, and flame with sparks came out of the back.
It was a homage to the original television series.
Gotcha.
Which
or the
black and white.
Yeah.
And it did a great job, except for the fact that it had a full Shakespearean cast, except the male and female leads could not act their way out of paper bags.
It's the only time I actually enjoyed watching Sam J. Jones act.
Yeah. In fact, he wasn't great, but he was tolerable.
The perfect fit for that role.
Yeah.
For the way the film was shot. Now, I would entertain seeing a serious approach to it. If they decided to refilm it, I might be interested.
They kind of did. I hate to say this. Remember the Saturday morning cartoon?
Flash Gordon?
Yes.
No, I only remember the comic book.
The first 14 episodes or 15 episodes or something, first season of it, was, yes, for kids, but still a serious approach to it. Serialized also. I mean, sequential. It was brilliant. For kids, but still.
What?
The Flash Gordon cartoon. It went gay after. No, seriously, it went gay after like the 14th episode or something.
Yeah.
But
It's like I'm one of the few
enough
people
I
that
have
actually
to
enjoyed
watch-
The Phantom.
It's bad
With
enough
Billy
I have
Zane.
to watch the Beyblade episodes and the Star Wars Clone Wars with my.
oh no, I'm talking.
Or-
This
or-
came out in like the 70s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
thought it was
yes,
new.
my
Oh,
opinion
No,
of
wait,
it.
I know what you're talking about now because it came out about the same time as the Star Trek animation.
A little after that,
little
and it was
after.
actually by the same company that did
Yes.
Star Trek and Tarzan.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do remember that because I remember watching Tarzan
I
on
like
Saturday
watching
morning.
Super Friends.
And to be honest, it's probably terrible now if you watch it, but it
I've been
was
trying to
at
find the
time.
Tarzan.
Hey now.
I can't find
The
it anywhere.
Thundercats.
Really?
You leave
Much
the
later.
Thundercats
I
alone.
like the Thundercats.
Yeah,
Damn it.
spanked it.
Silverhawks,
She
Thundercats.
And He-Man and She-Ra.
I'm the only one that heard that, Josh.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
that I timed it perfectly.
So we were having sci-fi confessions.
Please,
I
clear.
too have a sci-fi confession to make. So I remember being 5, 6 years old and watching the original. I think it was Tom Baker, the Doctor Who with the scarf.
Yep.
My mom's a big fan.
Okay,
of
I grew
that
up with
particular-
those episodes. Loved Doctor Who as a child. They brought it back with Chris Eccleston
Mm-hmm.
and then David Tennant.
Oh.
I fell back in love with Doctor Who, and I got to
heard
the
it-
point
I
where
heard it
I
got-
was gonna.
It got dark.
Watch
I
it.
heard it got dark, violent, and
Yeah, it did.
bleak.
When?
Yeah, I
When? With have you been watching it?
No.
I watched one
Oh,
episode
wait.
with these angel
Oh,
things.
yes.
Oh my god, scared the bejesus out of me.
Exactly.
That
That's
was
what
just
Doctor
like,
Who's supposed to do. It's a horror show with sci-fi trappings.
Exactly. But so I, loved all of when they brought it back and everything, whatever. Like I got to the point where I literally had in my Netflix queues, both DVD and instant, everything that I could grab from Doctor Who from beginning to like the first Doctor when it was black and white, up until the reimagination, arranged in chronological order because I'm a bit OCD and dyslexic. So everything is alphabetized so I can find it
Disney films in alphabetical order.
And then it's in chronological order because I mean if you alphabetize it, then everything's out of order, and then I don't know what the fuck I'm watching.
You gotta have the chronological order.
But something happened when they changed the Doctor for the latest series. Something happened. I lost all interest.
Yeah.
I deleted it all out of my Netflix queues. What? I don't know what happened.
How
I don't
many
know if
episodes into it did you get?
Something, maybe it's just something with bow ties I don't like, and
it's not the
lost.
It's not the special
interest.
effects. It's not the costume. It was the writing.
It was the writing.
I don't know what happened.
It was also the actor.
I don't know. Like I'm just like, and that makes me upset because, like I said, I grew up with fucking Doctor Who.
You're not the only one who feels this way. A lot of people.
It's one of the reasons why we love House. House is a very well-written show.
It is.
And
even during the writer's strike, they did a very good job.
And that's what I was telling her about Battlestar was it was literally every episode was filmed halfway through the writer's strike. And the writers did a damn good job. I was very impressed with it.
Okay. I am one of the staunchest Doctor Who fanatics that I know, and I will say that since Russell T Davies left, the show has suffered. Russell T was rocking it, but he ran out of ideas.
Explain for the kids at home exactly what his role is involved with Doctor Who.
Primary writer, head writer. He was the head writer from the initialization of the reboot all the way up to the moment David Tennant decided to fuck off.
See, out of all the Doctor Who's,
I love the mad face he's got. Look at the mad face.
My mom was a big Doctor Who fan, and she loved the Tom Baker series. But I actually liked the series that was right after Tom Baker.
You mean,
see, that's why I wanted
Peter
to rewatch
Peter
it.
Davidson.
It was darker.
Did you see the 10-minute long crossover with David Tennant and Peter Davison?
Yes.
When he's saying, "You were my doctor," I agree. By the way, I prefer the Peter Davison to the Tom Baker. I'm actually kind of a that's my closet shame.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I wanted to go back and rewatch everything from beginning to end. So to rewatch the Tom Baker episodes because like I said, it was 5, 6. I don't. How much do you really remember when you're 5 or 6? I remember bits and pieces, but I just remember mostly that I loved it. I don't remember so much all the things that happened. And I wanted to watch it from beginning to end because I wanted to know all the backstory, everything, so I wasn't left out of the loop. And I had it all queued up, all ready to go.
You don't need it.
And
okay, all the backstory.
Something happened, and I just was like, I'm
all
done.
of the backstory that is provided by the original. There are occasionally you'll have a self-gratifying nugget of information pop up that's, oh, neat. Yeah, I kind of remember that. That's it. Everything.
So, what doctor should I start with?
Eccleston.
No, I mean, I'm talking about like before they rebooted it.
Eccleston.
I've already seen all of them. What
Yep.
next?
It's the longest running television show.
You just talked about Peter Davidson. Do I even...
Peter
Start
Davidson.
with Pertwee. Because before,
because there was some darkness on that series as well.
John Pertwee, he was Doctor number 3.
Okay.
He was right before Tom Baker.
Right.
Okay.
And he had a good run of it, and that was pretty cool. Tom Baker was pretty cool. Peter Davison was freaking awesome.
Yeah. Because the whole thing about Peter Davison...
I loved the Chris Eccleston as the doctor.
What I liked
was
about
sad he only stayed for 1 season.
What I liked about the Peter Davison series was the fact that his time was too early.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was a lot of memory confusion between the Tom Baker Doctor Who and his Doctor Who, and that was part of the subplot through his series was trying to get all those memories and daydreams and alternate histories right with his brain because there was an accident with the Master that killed off Tom Baker's Doctor Who. So that was the underlying part of it. Now, I will freely admit that as far as horror is concerned, I have issues with mirrors based on the Tom Baker Doctor Who. My mother tried to expand my entertainment knowledge and made me watch certain scenes, and there was an episode, I don't remember the episode, I just remember that there was this planet they landed on that had a carnival kind of thing that was abandoned, and the chick assistant, I can't remember which one it was, wandered off and started talking to this snake in the reflection of the mirror.
Oh, wow.
And it was dark. And the snake possessed her, and she had the snake emblem wrapped around her arm. Because of
I remember that.
And it talked very similar to Chamberlain from
the Dark
Crystal. Very slick and
snake-like.
Snake-like. But I was like 7 years old, And it bothered me. So ever since then, mirrors at night, whenever I had to get up and go to the bathroom,
Yeah.
I would avoid looking at mirrors. And then I started getting into poetry and stories where mirrors and magical and doorways and demon. It really bothered me. So to get over it, I have to have mirrors, and I force myself to look. I'm 36 years old. I still have phobias about mirrors at night
I'm the same.
because of fucking Doctor Who.
And guess what?
I
That
don't know
pretty
if
much puts you in the
originates from
same
Doctor
position
Who,
of every adult your age in England.
It's very dark and very gloomy, and the writers were great. I just didn't care for. I'm sorry, I grew up watching Star Wars. My special effects comparison is high. So when I'm watching this,
Even the Troubles.
the what?
That was Star Trek.
Oh, Star Trek.
What did he say?
Star Wars. Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Can you tell I don't really pay attention? when you
Industrial
talk
Light and
sometimes?
Magic, they are pimps when it comes to special
You just
effects.
confused Star Wars and Star Trek.
I wasn't paying
No, she
attention to
didn't.
what he said,
Okay.
so I tried to make a joke.
I'm gonna
and
stick
it was
up for you
wrong.
and go, no, she didn't.
No,
You know.
no.
So
She's my dude, I'm taking
when
her
I'm
back.
seeing the TARDIS, which is a great idea by the way, and then I see them going through the door, and I'm going, wow, this is just a cardboard box.
Yeah.
I'm so
Bigger on
lucky.
the inside.
Bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. And I like the idea, the physics behind it is just mind-boggling, and I know I'm sounding like such a massive uber nerd when I talk about this, but I like that kind of storytelling.
Yeah.
But when I'm looking at the storytelling versus the visuals, and they don't mix.
And part of the problem with
It's
Doctor...
just like with the comment I made earlier about the CGI. If it's terrible, I get lost. I can't. I'm too busy watching your horrible CGI to even pay attention to what the fuck's
Okay,
going
the
on.
Daleks
so.
were trash cans.
Oh yeah.
I
They're
know.
plungers and whisks. And that's it.
Maybe I just know not to take it seriously.
I couldn't even
It's
take. I
older.
couldn't even take
Here's
the
another factor.
Cybermen seriously.
Yeah, no. They were terrible.
Now the
Terrible.
new ones are pretty spot
Pretty
on.
awesome.
But the before the 1990s,
Not so good.
they were literally silver astronaut suits with this big, huge, unmovable bucket head, and if they did close-ups of the face, you can see the guy's mouth and the
Yep.
mask move up and down.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, that's just bad.
Yeah, it was actually, the problem also was the fact that after watching some of the better episodes of it, I realized that by and large the acting was terrible.
Yeah.
While yes, the writing is good, it didn't come across.
So England, pay attention. Write books. Don't write sci-fi.
Ooh.
Now I
Can't
have
act.
to say, the newer stuff with Stephen Moffat it hasn't been a complete waste. There has been good. There has been a lot of good. There has been a fair amount of non-compelling.
What really blew my mind about Doctor Who is that after Peter Davison, you had a Scotsman play Doctor.
Colin Baker.
No.
Oh, Sylvester McCoy.
Sylvester McCoy. And he wore the bow tie with the hat with the
He was
question marks on the
terrible.
car. It was what? You got a Scotsman to play Doctor Who? What?
And he was terrible.
And he wasn't the best Doctor.
Colin Baker was the one after
Colin
Davison.
Baker was
Yep.
after McCoy.
Hmm?
I think Colin Baker was after McCoy.
Check him.
I'm not checking
Check.
60 years worth of TV
Sorry.
history.
Check him. It's a B thing.
Oh, see, I don't understand.
It's Christian Bale from the scene when he's got like the raincoat from American Psycho,
Oh.
And he's going like this.
nice.
and people will take the arm and shove it out like that far, and usually the thing is dubs. Check him. So yeah, that's why. Check him. Yeah, Colin Baker should have come right after Peter Davison, followed by Sylvester McCoy, followed by, I forget the dude's name, but the master was played by Eric Roberts.
Yeah.
Oh!
Eric Roberts?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he played the master at one point.
Eric Roberts.
I love Eric
And then it
Roberts.
got the sub-story behind the Master got massively convoluted
Oh yeah.
to the point where like you didn't know what was going on anymore.
Yeah.
That it was some experiment, then he was a child of a Time Lord, and then they talked about all sorts of other stuff. I'm going, okay, so what is he?
Well, they kind of finally ironed it out with the end of Russell T's run. Thank God, because he started off with Pertwee and just they'd dredge his character up, and he would die or not die or something. And
Because you only had what, 12 reincarnations?
yeah,
Or 12?
and apparently he had used up his.
Yeah, because there was one scene where he was just nothing but a mass of flesh.
Right. That was from the Tom Baker era towards the end, right before Davison showed up.
Yeah.
And he was kind of grody. He looked sort of like the Swamp Thing with a...
Actually, it looked like Class after he got spiked.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it was terrible. It was basically a plastic bag. I mean, it was just god awful.
Yeah, it was a
Special
plastic
effects are
bag
shit.
with latex thrown at it.
Oh yeah.
It was just... Really? I mean, there's
Have
sometimes
the Brits
when...
ever been known for their special effects
Who?
being good?
Who?
The Brits.
Yeah. The new Doctor Who is alright.
I think the new Doctor Who is also U.S. collaboration.
Oh, really?
If I'm not
Then nope.
I will freely admit, Bollywood does produce the most films per capita in the entire world, but Hollywood makes the best product. Even if the film is shit, it still has better special effects than anybody else on this planet.
Yeah.
It could be the shittiest film ever. It still had better special effects.
Yeah.
Transformers?
Transformers. That's not a movie. That is a 2-hour car commercial. Michael
With
Bay doesn't make
explosions.
films.
With
he makes car
explosions.
commercials.
Yeah, he did. He made that one.
Which one?
The Island.
Okay, I will freely admit I do like The Island.
Yeah, he made that one. That was a pretty alright
It was
movie.
a pretty alright movie.
Yeah.
It also had Scarlett Johansson in it, so I'm biased.
Yeah, it also had Ewan McGregor in it, so I'm okay with that.
And she was epically hot in that film.
Hoo-ha. Wait, hold on.
He just said hoo-ha.
You sure that was Scarlett Johansson?
Scarlett Johansson was in The Island with Ewan McGregor.
I thought that was Amy Smart.
Nope.
No, that was Scarlett Johansson.
Okay, then what was Amy Smart in?
See, even my wife knows who Scarlett Johansson is.
Okay, I need to check this.
Amy Smart was in Butterfly Effect.
That wasn't what I was thinking.
Apparently it would have called an island and Amy Smart. Yeah, I got nothing.
I got nothing.
Okay, this is just
She
so
was in The Butterfly Effect.
Yeah.
Hold on. Amy Weiss. Okay. Oh, that's fine. Scrubs, Crank, Mirrors, Peace Warrior, Just Friends, The Best Man, Bigger Than the Sky, A Love Story, Starsky and Hutch.
Did you say she was in Crank?
Yes.
She was adorable in that film.
Blind Horizon, Battle of Shaker Heights, After School Special,
Dang it.
60, Rat Race.
Maybe.
She was in Rat Race?
She was in Road Trip.
I'm sure there was something I saw her in.
Varsity
that
Blues,
was-
she played Julie.
Now
Now we're getting to the point where
no,
she's
getting
a teenager.
too old.
Yeah.
Getting too old. Something.
So I actually watched Jeopardy. I might.
Maybe it was Crank. I was
Theme
thinking.
song
I don't know why I would make that error, but it must have been Crank that I was thinking. Okay, never mind. Ah.
Bah.
But okay, I will admit, Michael Bay, that was a decent film.
I don't.
I
think he had
kind of
enough
liked
to do with it.
Armageddon. That's one of my Hollywood guilty pleasures.
I love that movie.
Because it's
I
got
like
Bruce
Deep
Willis in
Impact
it.
better.
Bruce Willis.
But
Deep Impact was better.
Deep Impact was a more realistic, serious film.
Came out at the same time as, and they came out the same weekend.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah. It was Let's Destroy the World with an Asteroid week.
Yeah, it was Apocalypse Summer or some shit like that.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I just I have a tendency of putting stuff on Facebook that's offensive beyond words, and basically, the internet slacktivism idea of it's this awareness week, so change your profile pic to something or other. I think it would be really great to have this is Armageddon week, so change your profile pic to I don't know. Last time I did something like this was Daddy Issues Awareness Week. Change your profile pic to your favorite porn star.
Roger.
Actually, I went for
Ugly
Bridget
as
the
hell,
Midget.
Sarah Jane Hamilton.
I was gonna say, what about
Jenna
your?
Jameson.
Huh?
What is the name of the chick that you put your?
Bridget the Midget.
Bridget.
Bridget Powers. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Midget porn. Gotta get for. I'm down with that. I mean,
So have you seen Dead Snow, speaking of Apocalypse?
Oh, I saw part of it, and then that sucks. I was with
Really?
Paul. He's really short, and no, we didn't get to watch all of it. I've been wanting
One
to.
of the greatest
Of
zombie
where
films
you used to
ever.
live,
That's
I
what I've
had
heard.
I had a copy there.
I know.
Is it still in the instant queue?
Yes, it is.
Excellent.
We can watch it tonight.
Awesome.
It is.
Yeah.
Dead
Saw
Snow
it
is
the
one of
other
the
day.
greatest zombie films ever made, and it's a foreign film.
So I mean, I'm excited because he actually likes a foreign film.
I like a couple. I like Sauna.
That was weird.
Song was a good film.
I did like Sonic.
I think Sunshine counts as a foreign film.
Does it?
Yeah, anything Danny Boyle did is foreign. At least
Sean did. I love Sunshine. Huh?
So, oh yeah.
I'm hungry. You want to call that our show then?
Yeah.
Sweet.
I mean, I think if we don't call it
We're
now,
gonna be here all
we're gonna be
night.
here all night.
And it's gonna be a some editing.
And I have to, I have to go to work tomorrow.
One of my favorite lines ever from something was just, wait, we're going to edit this for time, right? No. We'll probably keep it in for padding.
So yes, go to the website, bdrrocksonline.com. Email us your ideas and questions at bdrinfo.
At PRRocksOnline.com.
bdrrocksonline.com. It's been a long day. And we will see you next time.
Indeed, if you ever hear this.